Darth, how the fuck? You commented before I went live. You commented before I even went live. How the... No. That doesn't even count, Captain. He commented first before I was live. What? My brother. That's gnarly. That's crazy. Is Darth actually in here? Darth, are you in here? Or is that a glitch in the system? There's no way Darth's actually in here. That's gotta be a glitch. There are new emojis. Yeah, Cap, I think you were first. I think it's a glitch from like the last stream. I want to see what emojis we have now. Okay, we got emotes. We got this, we got this, we got this, we got this. Check those out. Hell yeah. Got some new emotes. There's also badges for you guys as well. 1 month, or new members, 1 month, 2 month, 6 month, 1 year, 2 years. Except every civilization has survived the flood of Noah. There's never been an archaeological discovery that contradicts the Bible. Are you kidding me? That's funny. That's really funny. That's hilarious. That is a great joke to start the stream off. I appreciate that. Good humor. That's funny. Guys, did you read that in chat on TikTok? There's never been an archaeological discovery that contradicts the Bible. Can we get some LOLs in chat? Oh, that's funny. What's up, DJ? Rock hard for Doug. Amen, sister. Hell yeah. Rock hard for Doug. We need to get something for the unicorn. What should be said about the unicorn? Are we still saying all hail the unicorn, or Ramses the second storehouses? I'm sorry? Huh? What? Who, what, when, where, why? Love no premises for you viewers, just people guessing why you believe what you believe. Evidence isn't subjective. What's subjective is when someone doesn't know what evidence actually is. Evidence is facts and information leading to a true conclusion. Da, 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 da. Sup, Chixie? Got Woden in here. Cap was first as always. You guys are too slow. Nah. His love is a pathetic attempt for attention. What love? They just don't understand how we arrive at evidence. Yeah, it's sad. It's mind dependent. No, it's objective. Yeah, Steve, learn how to type before you talk shit. It's kind of pathetic. Also, if you don't like the live, fuck off. The beauty of the internet. You can swipe. If you also disagree, request up. Prove me wrong. Would love to see you try. God, I love this song. This song will never get old. Oh, such a good song. Maybe we should put on... I already got a harassment and bullying. Seriously? God damn. Come on, TikTok overlords. How can you make observation without a mind? We observe the objective reality and can test our observations against reality to see if it aligns with what reality actually dictates as objectively true. Proving wrong. Debate setup is so unfair to the guest. False! I don't have an active claim. The one making the claim about a magical unicorn is the one that has the burden of proof, not me. So yeah, prove me wrong. Biatch, don't agree? Fuck off! Fuck off! I need to get like a chicken emoji. Fuck off! I love that. Fuck off! I bought a monster like 30 minutes ago, so feeling good. They hand out restrictions like Nobel Peace Prizes. Yeah, literally. Literally. It's literally true, mate. Your claim is there's no evidence for God. Yep, it's a negative claim. Go study logic. Yeah. There's also no evidence for unicorns. You want me to prove that unicorns don't exist? You need to study logic. Books are free. Libraries nearest to you. Hell yeah, Wodenson, hitting that hype. If you guys haven't hyped up the videos, the recent video, go over to the recent video and hype that shiznit up. Yes. What is up with the spam though? Let's time you out for a couple of minutes. That's excessive, my brother. It's excessive. Slow down. If we get a hell of a lot of spam, I'll just swap it over to members only chat. Yeah, I'll get the call-in link. I know Blitz is live right now, so it might take a minute to get some callers on both TikTok and YouTube, but we'll do it. Like to call in. Boop. Pin. All right, it's pinned. Happy Thursday. Amen, sister. Hell yeah. Love that. I like that monster flavour. This is my first time having this one. It's the Hawaiian. It's not bad. I like it a lot. False. Cal. False. Want to request up? Or are you too chicken? Let's get Abdulis in here. What's up, Ab? Can I call you Ab?
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. You over the age of 18, brother?
Yeah, I'm 19.
Awesome. Okay, which religion do you follow, brother?
I'm a Catholic.
Okay, cool. What you got for me today? Why should I follow that?
I'm not necessarily trying to pursue to follow Catholicism specifically, but I'm just asking, you don't think that there's like any evidence whatsoever for God? Like even if it's not strong, you don't believe there's any evidence?
Not even strong, and here is my reasoning for that. Whenever someone says something like they had an experience, for instance, okay, and then we look at their experience and they saw something in the dark, they have no actual causal relation or mechanism to demonstrate that there's any link to a God at all. It's all 100%, I don't know what this was, and I'm ignorant on natural causal mechanisms, therefore God. So it's a God of the gaps fallacy. So unless you can provide a mechanistic value to show that a God did something, there's no evidence for a God doing it.
Do you believe that evidence
is
could
facts
lead
and
to
information leading to a true conclusion?
But do you think that evidence for something could lead to like one or the other things, but there's still strong evidence, right? Even though it's not true, you could still say that there's evidence towards it, correct?
Because it's not evidence for that when you actually look at the evidence. When you follow the evidence, it does not lead to a God. Do you have any evidence?
Wouldn't you think that the creation of a time universe, don't you think that would be evidence?
You have to
something
prove
that could
it's created, brother. That's why it's not evidence. You have to provide evidence that it was created. Then you have to provide evidence for the God. Then you have to provide a causal mechanism that the God created the effect of the universe. There's no evidence for that. Unless you want to provide it, stop burden shifting. Let's talk about the evidence.
Right, that's exactly what you don't think that the universe being created isn't evidence?
Prove it was created, dude. I just said that. God.
The Big Bang Theory. There's a lot of evidence.
What is the Big Bang Theory, brother?
You don't think there's evidence behind the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, I believe in it because there's evidence for it. What part of the Big Bang Theory states that there was nothingness that magically made something?
Beginning. There was a beginning in the Big Bang Theory.
False. There was a hot, dense state that expanded. The expansion had an origin point from a hot, dense state of what? Energy. Can energy be created? Nope. First law of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics says what? Nope. So do you have any evidence that energy can be created,
that closely
or that
relate
the
to the
universe was
definition
created?
Of God?
If you want to worship energy as a God, you can, but it's not by literally any definition of God, because a God is an all-powerful triune creator of the universe. And or if you want to talk about lowercase g, it's going to be some divine agent that has some sort of interaction with the universe and people and morals, etc. So by any and all definitions, energy is not a God by any means. It has no intent, it has no intelligence, and it doesn't create anything. Excellent. Would you like to provide evidence for God, though? Because your burden shifting is starting to be annoying.
Okay. Yeah, I have one more piece for you.
If it's a question, I'm not answering it. You can provide evidence for your God or fuck off.
This is my evidence. You believe in the Big Bang Theory, which was created by a Catholic priest. Congratulations.
Yeah, I do.
Congratulations there.
Because there's evidence for it.
Your arrogance is very disgusting. I pray that you could come to have more self-control over your own personality traits and your own issues. So
you believe in germ theory created by an atheist, therefore atheism is true.
brother.
That's a stupid argument. So just because a Christian or a Catholic created something doesn't make their God or all their beliefs true. He has evidence. We have CMB
I'm just
radiation.
saying that your attitude as a human is just terrible.
So that the reason
and I feel bad
the
for your
reason that we
for
believe in the Big Bang Theory is because of cosmic
correctly.
microwave background radiation, and no part of that demonstrates a God's existence nor creation of the universe.
Right,
so just because it was founded by a Catholic does not mean that Catholicism is the true religion. Would you like to demonstrate that a God exists, or would you like to keep crying like a butthurt baby?
You're the one crying. I
know you are, but what am I?
This whole time.
I know you are, but what am I? This is what you sound like. So would you like to provide evidence or keep crying?
Again, I'm not the one crying.
Yes, you are. Goodbye. Burden shifting never works. It's your burden, guys. Your burden. Is the host a Tesla robot? Yes. Ooh, we got a lot of Running Mans and Crybabies for you in the YouTube chat. Get Shrek'd on. You need Joel's song to play. Dude, I need to reach out to Joel, and I also need to reach out to Justin and Dalton to figure out how to like show up all the super chats and whatnot. Like there's so many things that I'm so ignorant on like OBS on how to do. And then I have no sound effects or anything. The only sound I've got this. I like this. And then we got the crybaby. That's it. I need to get more. I also like Dalton's idea of using the voice changer for reading the super chats and stuff. I'm not going to steal that idea because that's Dalton's. So I'm not going to steal it, but I do love it and I do want to do it. I'm going to text him, hey, is it okay if I steal your idea? All right, so if you're a theist of some degree, I don't care which god or gods, go ahead and request up on YouTube. You can click that link that is pinned in the chat. You go into what is called the control room. It'll have you muted automatically. Put your name in. I'll unmute you, call out your name, say, hey, let's chat. And if you're on TikTok, click those little people at the bottom, and you can click request. And we can have a chat. What is up, Carrie? Welcome inside your page. You only bash Christians. I bash everyone. Cry harder. Yeah, KGV does mention unicorns. I have, this is an NIV. This is a King James. We got the King James here. I got the I got one NIV, and then I have an NIV that actually has notes on it. What is up, Ravas? Daddy Ravas is here. Okay, so mods, you're absolute legends. The people that are just spamming like that, just go on ahead and block them. I just don't even care. That's not even like helping retention or engagement. It's just pure spam. And the only reason you even preach about this is because of your fear of false. I'm not scared of death. I would be scared of a torturous, painful death. Yeah, absolutely. I'm scared of pain. I'm not scared of death because there is nothing. I will bow. That sounds, why do you want to force me to get on my hands and knees for you, bro? The closet door is open. You can step out of it. It's okay. I like dealing with spam myself. Hell yeah, Robo. You guys need to take advantage of the members only stickers and emojis. Why do Christians like crying like their daddy God? Yeah, right. He was talking about YouTube chat, but main character somewhere. I'm sorry. Oh, prove it, Abdul. Prove it. You literally provided nothing but crying. You did not say the universe was created and we know this because of this evidence. You did not say God exists because of this evidence. All you said was the Big Bang. You strawmanned the ever-living fuck out of the Big Bang Theory, saying that the Big Bang Theory states that the universe was created. False. The Big Bang Theory states there was a hot, dense state that 13.8 billion years ago expanded thanks to dark energy. It has nothing to do with the creation or origin of the universe itself. It has everything to do with the hot, dense state expanding. That is it. space and time expanding. That was it, mate. Dude, I would love to get really good at a Captain Jack Sparrow impression. I also really want to get some unicorn ears and horn. Here come the keyboard warrior threats. Aw, so cute. If brother was in person, he would be real quiet. Nope. Not even a little bit. I'm more loud in person. Dun, 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 dun. Brother, I am 5'2". I will kick your booty. I'm a tiny king. I could do SpongeBob pretty good. You should have me on to debate with the SpongeBob. That's funny. Unicorn headphones. Yeah, I was thinking about unicorn headphones the other day, like how oh shoot, what's his name? Oh god, what's his name? Javon? Is it Javon? Is that his name? Is his name Javon? It is Javon. Like how his headphones. But I feel like if I was looking for like unicorn headphones, they'd be way too small. I don't know if there would be adult sized. Got a decent sized head. Let's get Ravas up in here, daddy.
Hey.
Hi, Poppy.
I see you already got a crier in the comments.
Oh yeah. He got absolutely fucking obliterated. So now he's just crying.
Well, yeah, I know what his dad did to him, but what'd you do?
Same thing, just worse. Yeah, he his first few questions were okay. And then he strawmanned the Big Bang Theory, stating that the Big Bang Theory, he was like, well, it was made by Catholics, so checkmate, you believe in God. And I'm like, okay, yeah, there's atheists that came up with the germ theory, so therefore you don't believe in God? Like, what kind of a dumbass fucking argument is that? And then he said the straw man of the Big Bang Theory states that the universe had an origin and was created. And I was like, no. The Big Bang Theory states that there was a hot dense state that 13.8 billion years ago. Has no one watched the Big Bang Theory TV series? Seriously?
Well, how do you know he believes in germ theory?
That's true. That's true. I was under the assumption that he had some brain cells.
Well, I mean, he's pulling the every knee will bow, so I doubt he has any.
All right, Ravas. I hate to do this. Request back in when you're done driving, brother.
Oh.
I know. You're getting called out by everyone on chat, so I gotta grant their call outs. Nah, I'm sorry, brother. I gotta drop you. Okay, cool. I appreciate your Ravas. Come back when you're stationary, brother. I love you. Most Christians don't even know how to bathe correctly. I know he was driving. I was just trying to say hi to daddy. God. He really should know better. That's valid. Yeah. Shame on you, Ravas. Shame. Everyone shame him. I can get the guy who doesn't believe in DNA back in here. Oh, God, please, for the love of God, don't. No. Boo that man. We all love you, Ravas. So I bought like a bunch of these black polo shirts, right? Like I think I bought like 10 of them, like a lot of them. And they're like super tight. And I'm like, these are my size. Why are they so tight? Plot twist, the label on the box was incorrect. And I bought a size too small. And I'm very sad about that. So now I have to go and get the whole new shirt wardrobe in the correct size. There's so much evidence that even non-believers believe. That's not true at all, by literally any means. Non-believer literally means you don't believe. So how can A and not A be true at the same time? There's so much evidence. What's up, Slice? Evidence that even non-believers.
Hey, man. Evidence for God. Find God, there has to be some kind of moral affinity between
Pause.
you. Meaning, if you're a loveless person, if you're a selfish person, then you're not going to find God, you know? Yeah, go ahead.
There might be a massive delay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, are you able to hear me pretty well?
Yeah, I think there may be like a 1 second
it's
lag,
good
so
now.
I'm not talking over you. Yeah, there's definitely a lag.
A little bit, yeah. Okay, we can make it work. That's only like a second lag. We can make that work. Cool. It cut off the first half of what you said. So 2 questions first. You're over the age of 18, and which religion do you follow?
37. There's not a religion for it, but I'm just certain that God exists.
Okay, cool. More of like an agnostic stance.
Not an agnostic stance. I'm certain that God exists. I have different books that tell me specifically what God's attributes are. And but yeah, there's only one infinite God. There's just not a name for reality. You know, religions are an approximation of what's real when it comes to God. Oh wow, that's a big lag unless you're just pausing dramatically.
I'm trying to think of the next question. So you believe in all the religions, like monotheism, pantheism?
Look, I mean, I know. Look, I don't know how to explain it. So I believe in an infinite primal mind. There's an infinite primal intelligence. Yeah, I mean, there's books that I can point you to. It's really classical theology, you know.
Right, the all-powerful triune creator of the universe.
The infinite is reality. Sort of. Yeah.
Okay, why do you believe this?
So before I tell you that, in order to find God, there has to be some kind of moral affinity between you and God. A loveless person is hardly going to find any kind of relationship, and it wouldn't help you at all to realize God was real anyway. Or if you're very selfish, I'm not saying that, or unforgiving, you get what I'm saying. There has to be some sort of, like I said, moral affinity. The second thing is God is reckoning with time when it comes to contacting you. So you would have to set aside 2 minutes in the morning, for example, take 90 seconds to sit there and say, hey, I'm not, be sincere. I'm not sure if God exists, but I'm here, God, if you are, and give them time and let them see that you're consistent. And then in order for them to respond to you. Now, and the third thing, I'm getting to the argument part, but I got to lay this foundation. If you go to Grok and type in what are the best arguments for God, well, that's going to be way better than some human with a red shirt coming on here and telling you. I'm not going to be able to do better than the AI demon and explaining that. Okay, and that's where I'm going to leave you. I just came up to preach. Thank you.
He just dropped. Okay, you don't have to have morals or the ability to love to know an objective fact about reality. So no, you don't have to have love or not love to know for a fact if something exists or not. So that's just fucking false. Grok gets its information from fucking Twitter and Reddit. So you're wrong there too. All of Grok's information comes from fucking people and people's arguments. So that was dumb as shit as well. And then also, spending a little bit of time in the morning is not evidence of a God. And you spending time in the morning doing a prayer or something is just a priming psychological effect that allows you to placebo yourself into believing in something. It literally just builds new neural pathways. It is not evidence for a God. So literally every point you made was absolutely fucking horseshit. And then you ran before I could even say anything. That was pathetic. That was extremely pathetic. I'll buy your grippy socks. Let me know. Once I buy your grippy socks, I want you to go check yourself in because you need it. How did you determine that life is evidence for God? It's evidence for evolution, dumb nut. Come on now. Yellow grippies. Oh man, I always like the blues. No, I'm a mythicist. Omnishu, I'm a mythicist. Also, I don't hate Grok. I use Grok, ChatGPT, Gemini. I use them all, especially Copilot. I'm an Android user, and all of my stuff is going to be around like Copilot and Gemini and whatnot. But when you're using these things as sources for information, you have to know where they get their information from, because they are LLMs. They only use the information they have. They get their information from a specific place. They are not intelligent creatures making up their own things. They are copy pasting what they have been told and or information that they can find through whatever code they're allowed to go through. Like Grok is majority through Reddit. Blue grippies? Hell yeah. Christ knows who's trusting their lives with him. Well, no, he doesn't, because he doesn't exist. If you want to prove me wrong, you can request up, though. I should probably get up Jaren's mythicism cheat sheet real quick. Where's it at? There we are. And then refresh the page, because there's new information. Cornelius Tacitus, Clement Irenaeus, the manuscripts. Ron Wyatt, the most wise person of all of time. The calendar, because they love to bring that up. It's 2000 what? It's 2000 what? Guess what? In China, it's the year 4000, dumbass. Shroud of Turin, Eusebius, Talmud. Before Jesus, Pontius Pilate, Thales, Paul, Josephus, Papias, Pliny the Younger, Tacitus, Suetonius, Polycarp, Marcion, Gospels, Prophecies. All of it is in here. It's super fun. If you guys aren't following Christ before Jesus, you need to go follow him. He's an absolute genius. His will get you up here, man. What's up, His?
Yo, man.
You over the age of 18, brother?
Can you hear me okay?
I sure can. You over the age of 18, brother?
Yeah, I'm 28.
All right. Which religion do you follow?
I am born again, follower of Christ of 5 years.
Christian. Awesome. What you got for me?
So I know how these lives usually go. Usually tend to get very aggravated and mute people and just kick us. So I'm hoping it doesn't turn out that way.
It will. So what evidence do you have for your God, and why should I believe in him?
How aware are you on Roman history?
What evidence do you have for God?
Especially within the 1st century.
Yeah, what evidence do you have for God?
So are you aware that Rome sieged Jerusalem in 70 AD, as Christ predicted?
Couldn't give a shit less. What evidence do you have for God?
And they destroyed the temple?
Nope, that was actually a current happening. So what evidence do you have for God?
Every single leader in Roman history...
You just completely ignored what I just said. That was actually a current happening. That was a current happening. It was a current happening, and Christ didn't say that. Decades after the events was that written down. So would you like to provide evidence for God? What's the point of your life? Would you like to provide evidence for God?
You have children, bro. This is concerning.
What's the evidence for your God?
I prayed for you last year.
Do it. What's the evidence for your God?
So again, every single leader in Roman history.
So what is the evidence for your God? And what evidence does Constantine have for God?
Christianity.
What evidence do the Romans have for God? What evidence do any of them have for God?
So when was Constantine in error?
Where is the evidence for God?
Dude, if you're not going to partake in the conversation,
you have to partake in providing evidence for God.
I'm trying to. Why are you running?
You're not.
You're acting like
anything.
A child.
If Constantine has evidence for God,
you're in your 30s, bro. Can we be respectful?
I'm not in my 30s.
You are. We've talked like 5 times.
I'm not in my 30s, buddy. So what evidence
and
do you
you've
have
been
for God?
adopted.
I'm not
I know
adopted.
Your story.
Nope.
Yeah, you were fostered.
Nope.
So can we like
what
get to the conversation? I'm asking you questions about
what
Rome.
Evidence do you have for God? What evidence
and
does
you're
Rome
not willing
have for
to
God?
answer.
I
Do
know
you
you're
know
not
who
willing
Constantine
to answer.
is?
It's very sad that you're not willing to answer. What evidence do you have for God?
Do you know who Constantine
You have yourself
is?
the day you deserve. Jesus Christ. I do have kids. He was correct about that, yes. No, I am not in my 30s, and no, I was not adopted. Nope, I'm not in my 30s, nor was I adopted. Yeah, my birth year is 2000. Yes, I'm very young. Two years off, yeah. Well, no, 3. I'm 25. 25. You were a year old when I was working my first job ever. When I was a year old, Harry Potter came into theaters. Were you? Yeah, I grew up as a Christian, Messianic Jew. Yes. Did you get a granddaughter my age? I'm kidding. I was a junior in high school. Oh God. Oh, Abdul wants to get destroyed and obliterated again. Awesome. All right, what evidence do you have for God?
All right, so I have evidence that you're a raging closet fag. Is that true?
100%. What evidence do you have for God?
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Cool. What evidence do you have for God?
Hey, I'm glad that you could come out in front of all these 83 people and finally admit that.
I can't come out if I'm already out.
Hey, you just did come out. Congratulations, bro.
Brother, I'm always gay for Ravas and Evan. What are you talking about? There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Dude, I saw all the evidence on your profile. You're so angry at all these Christians because they live
So
better
angry.
lives than you. So
They
angry.
don't.
I know.
What evidence do you have
they
for God?
do.
Ah, you got banned. God damn it. I love how they think that calling someone gay is like a big deal. Like, didn't we just say that I have kids? I feel like 20 seconds ago, we just talked about me having kids. I mean, you want to call me gay? Go for it. Absolutely. I do a lot of gay things. I absolutely fucking love it. I'm straight as a circle. Indy guy, let's get you in here. What is up, Indy?
Hello, how are you?
Doing all right, brother. You over the age of 18?
Yeah, I'm 36.
Awesome. Which religion do you follow?
I follow Christ, so I'm
Okay,
Christian,
cool.
I would say.
Sweet. All right, what you got for me today, brother? Wait, pause.
Well, just to kind of clarify so I know how to approach the discussion.
I'm sorry, I got to pause you. Are you driving?
No, I'm sitting on a job site, though.
Okay, cool. That's all good, all good. All right, what you got?
All right, so I just am asking this question for clarification so I know how to approach the discussion.
Sure.
So you say there's no evidence for God. Where do you feel the evidence points for our existence?
What do you mean about our existence? We know we come from evolution.
We know we come from evolution.
Yeah,
so
fossils,
like
embryology, geology, archaeology, all of it. Yeah, 100% absolute factual.
Okay. So in reference to like our overall development and stuff like that, like coming from dinosaurs and being single-celled and Homo sapiens and those types of things.
You
All
are.
right.
Yeah, we are Homo sapiens, yeah.
Okay. So in relation to that, right, from like the overall standpoint of, let's say we, approach this from the evolutionary like perspective, where does the starting point for our overall existence come from in the sense of our planet, our
Oh, you're cutting out a
as
little
a
bit.
whole from a universe perspective?
Okay, the universe started 13.8 billion years ago after the expansion from a hot dense state. We know this thanks to cosmic microwave background radiation. It's called the Big Bang Theory. We have evidence for it. We can demonstrate it. We can observe it. It's true. Thank you, Redshift. Abiogenesis, Miller-Urey showed us, and I actually have notes on this up right here. Let me show you this. Miller-Urey did an experiment, Miller and Urey. They set up a closed earthly system setup with glass apparatuses for mimicking early ocean and atmosphere in a closed loop. They used simple inorganic gases, which is going to be methane, ammonia, hydrogen, water vapor, no oxygen gas, to keep it chemically similar, and then a energy source of electrodes and fire for the heat, and then they cooled it down because that's what the Earth did after it cooled down once it was formed. So they were able to cool it down with water vapor, condensed liquid, and then they recirculated it, and they let it run for days, and they were able to get organic from inorganic. And we also know, to further into that, if we look at the organic molecules, we got enzymes, and then we got, let me look at this. Once organic exists, they must concentrate somewhere, which were through atmospheric synthesis, hydrothermal vents, meteorites, and UV-driven reactions. Okay, and then the polymers from the monomers, amino acids and nucleotides, which nucleotides are why we're able to have evolution in the first place, and that's where evolution comes from. So we know that abiogenesis is true, and even the Bible agrees with abiogenesis in Genesis when it talks about making man from dirt, which is inorganic. It is not living.
Okay, so to kind of back up real quick, when you reference the Big Bang Theory as like your foundational piece of evidence that makes it your claim, correct, why is it still considered to be a theory then? If
it's not just a theory. It's a scientific theory. Well, that's not just a theory. So so here's the thing. When I was a Christian, I didn't know this either. The colloquial use of theory is actually the verb of theory, which is to theorize, guess, or assume. That is not what a scientific theory is. A scientific theory is facts and information for a true conclusion that has been repeatedly tested and doesn't contradict any of the evidence.
Okay.
So it's a fact. It is the closest thing to a fact we will ever have. The only absolutes we have are in mathematics. The closest thing to absolute we have is a theory.
Okay. So in reference to your point then, so like, I'm going to kind of approach this from a different angle then. I want to approach it from the
Here's the problem, Indy. You're asking me a lot of questions. Let's say that I know nothing about anything. Because it doesn't fucking matter what my opinions are, right? If God is real, he's real. It doesn't matter what my feelings are, right? Facts don't give a fuck about my feelings. So provide me evidence to justify the reason that I should believe in a God. Burden shifting isn't smart.
No, I'm not trying to burden shift. I was just trying to understand your perspective and what you believe.
I believe in facts and information.
Okay. So in reference to your point, like one of my key pieces that I lean into, for basically having hope in life and not looking at it as just a pointless existence, is the simple reality that if we're simply just evolving from a single-celled organism over billions of years, then that makes the existence of us and the actions taken by others against, other human beings kind of irrelevant, because it doesn't really matter on a cosmic scale.
False.
It's just, why?
So you don't even know what morals are. Morals are principles that are made up in societies and cultures. So everyone has morals. 100% of all morals are subjective. Even if you look at your God, they're dependent on his mind, therefore, by literal definition, subjective. All morals in all societies and cultures are subjective. Morals are principles to determine right and wrong in society and cultures, and different societies have different morals. Each person individually can have their own opinion as well, which is also the definition of subjective. It changes in accordance with thoughts, feelings, and opinions.
Okay. But even with those but if we're going to say it's subjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that's
it is,
still
according to all definitions, even yours.
Okay, but that's still that's my point. Like, I'm saying that when you base that morality or those principles off of something that's subjective, basically, that means they don't really mean anything. They're just feelings.
So we have justifications for why we have morals. For instance, we are social creatures. Without one another, we die. We literally go crazy if we don't have any social interactions. We literally need each other for our own survivals. And in societies, we rely upon one another. So it is in our best interest, if we ought to survive, and if survival is important, then we ought to do good unto others for our own survival and for their survival. Also, we have something called empathy. If I've burned myself, I know that it hurts, and I would not want to do that to someone else because I have empathy. I know that it hurts, and I don't want it to hurt them as well, because pain sucks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But my point is, from the overall standpoint of like having those feelings in the first place, they're simply just reactions within your brain that determine how you feel about a situation.
They're chemical reactions based in logic, yes.
So that still comes, like, when you get to the core of it, overall, it doesn't really mean anything.
There is absolutely no purpose to life, correct?
Yeah, so to me, that's a hopeless existence.
Nope,
and to think
incorrect. So there is no inherent purpose to life. Each individual has created their own purpose in life. Again, this is the study of ethics. There's a gentleman named Spinoza that has a book on ethics. Okay, philosophy, the study of morals and ethics. So anyways, would you like to stop burden shifting and making me explain everything about everything, or would you like to provide evidence for your God?
I was just having a discussion. I didn't take it as burden shifting. I'm sorry.
It
If that's
is,
how you did.
because there's no evidence for God, and you haven't provided any evidence for God at all. You're just asking me to explain everything about everything, and it's annoying.
I'm presenting points. You argue the point, and then you say I'm asking.
You haven't provided any point or evidence for a God.
I just spoke towards how emotional, like, relation to each other is
what
something
evidence do you have for God, Indy?
Look, I'm not trying to have like some rude discourse. So if you want to be rude,
this is about debate. I'm not being rude.
Right.
I'm holding you accountable.
Well,
if you don't like to be held accountable, that sucks for you. Grow up.
You just being an asshole, dude.
I'm not being an asshole. I'm holding you accountable, and you're getting butthurt by being held accountable. Do you have evidence for God? Yes or no?
No. Yeah. The overall evidence for God is merely our existence and our ability to interconnect with one another and understand how
you're asking for evidence and you won't shut your mouth. Well, you just provided the evidence. So you just said our existence. You just said that our existence is the evidence. How about you shut the fuck up, little bitch? So you just said that your evidence for God is our existence, correct or false?
I'm not listening to you until I finish
my
point.
Go fuck yourself sideways. What's up, Edward? We've had you up quite a few times.
For a sec.
How's it going, brother?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, brother. I don't remember which religion you follow. You want to remind me?
Was that that guy was saying just because we have no hope or no purpose, God must be true. But that's just an argument from consequences. Just because he's uncomfortable with the implications of a no God world doesn't do anything to move the needle towards God existing.
Yeah.
That's all.
And then him just saying that our existence is evidence for God. Nope, that's the claim.
Yeah, that's because he's not comfortable with the implications of it not being. Whether you believe in moral realism from a secular point or you don't, or you believe we have purpose without God or you don't. It's just the implication that he believes we don't. Therefore, God must be real.
Gotta
but
love
what
God
we
at the
want
gaps.
has no bearing on truth.
Yep.
Hey, man, you can drop me.
I appreciate you, brother.
Later, man.
Love, Edward. Bum, 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 bum. I love that they're all crying in chat now, like, you didn't let him talk. Yeah, I did. He made his claim. The evidence for God in accordance with what he was saying is that our existence. And then I had a follow-up question. How does our existence point to a God? Then he was incapable of answering and decided to cry about me cutting him off. Nope. He was about to go on a tangent. I'm stopping him from the tangent because I don't give a monkey's ass about his tangent. I only care about the evidence. So your evidence is that we exist and that points to a God. Wonderful. Demonstrate that. Various. What is up, my boy? What's up, man?
Hey, I'm just here to address some people crying in chat. Once I can find my source real quick. There's a bunch of people whining in chat saying that electricity is not a theory. I've got a standard textbook here on electromagnetism. I'm just looking for the spot where it says that it's a theory, because it is.
Yeah, they don't know what a theory is. Oh, I didn't say hi to you, Godless. What's up, John? My apologies if you're still here and can hear me say what's up.
Here it is. Can I get big box?
Sure.
All right, so I've got a very standard textbook. This is used by lots of universities. It's a pretty standard reference for electromagnetism because it is a really good book for the undergraduate level. So, electrodynamics, a beautifully complete and successful... Oh, what's that word? Huh. Electrodynamics theory. Huh. Why is that word? Why is that word showing up with this word? Huh. Buy literally any textbook on electromagnetism, and it's going to mention something about the fact that it's a theory.
Yep, and here's the actual definition for theory for all of you troglodytes. A scientific theory is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world that is based on a body of evidence and has been repeatedly tested through observation and experimentation. It's not a guess or an assumption. That is the verb of theory, to theorize, to guess or assume. A scientific theory is fact. It's based in evidence and information. It is the closest thing to a fact, I should say.
Well, anyways, I gotta drop down. I gotta hop in the shower.
I appreciate you, brother. You have yourself a good day,
Yeah,
right?
no problem. Later.
Love it. Bubble baths are amazing. Get some nice bath salts or something in there, like eucalyptus. Hell yeah. Bubbles. That's funny. Too tall to take baths. I feel that, man. It's obnoxious. Too tall to like lay down fully. Yeah. Glitter bath bombs from Lush. I've never used a bath bomb before. Dude, I know, right? Why are they so short? What is up, Jaden? Guys, Jaden has officially made a YouTube.
Yes, I have. I haven't posted a video just yet. Currently working on it. If anybody's interested, I'm going to be talking about the problems with all the omni properties that the generic God is given.
So he's going to be making some videos. Once a video is posted up, we're going to let him post a link to that video in the Discord. Go show him some love. All right, let's get in. Father Trinity deconstruct. We want some theists, though.
What's good, Father? I know who he is.
Hello.
What's up, man?
I know you're probably looking for theist evidence first. I just want to come up and say, what's up, man? And I know Jaden. I've been watching your work. You're doing good stuff, man.
Cody, you don't know how many friends I have that want to
but the
meet
absence. And I will say this one thing before I go. I would argue that there is no evidence of God, but the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. So there's that.
I actually don't agree with that line.
How so?
Because there's no evidence for a unicorn. That's evidence that they don't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes.
Necessarily, just because you don't have evidence of something that existing doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Unless you have evidence to the contrary. Like if you have evidence that's absolute evidence that something doesn't exist, is different from not having evidence that it does exist. You see what I mean?
I mean, no, I hear you. I don't grant the argument. Like, again, it's like lacking evidence for something is evidence to not have a justified belief in it. So I would grant that lack of evidence is evidence to not believe it.
I agree with that. Completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. Like if you don't have sufficient enough evidence in something, that it would be an act of faith alone to try to believe in it.
Yeah.
So no, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Father, can you message me the whole Trinity idea that you gave me with the who's actually a part of the Trinity in the Old Testament?
It's on my page. I actually have a video breaking it down on this page.
Okay. I'll have to go and check that out. Actually, Cody, I think you'd want to hear this. This is actually pretty interesting. Father, if you could give him the rundown for it.
Oh, I'll make it real quick. Okay, so they have the Holy Trinity thing, right? Which it's crazy. It makes no sense.
Pure contradiction, yeah.
When you look at if you try to break down the book as it is, I started to understand that maybe this sort of Trinity is a reflection of an older sort of familiar structure, right? Because you've got the Father in the Genesis 1, El Elyon, who's created the world before Yahweh even got into the mix in Genesis 2, right? Then you have in Proverbs 8, there's this whole spiel by this personified being named Wisdom, a woman, this feminine figure that says she was there with God at the beginning of creation.
Mm-hmm.
And who do you see with God at the beginning of creation? The Holy Spirit, which by etymology is characterized as feminine, right? So I'm thinking that this Wisdom character and the Holy Spirit were the same being. Now, people also look at John, I think it's 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, right? And the Word became flesh. A lot of people use that as a prophecy for Jesus being in the Old Testament, which we know it is not, right? The word is derived from the Greek word logos being the Greek word for wisdom. And wisdom already said that she was there at the beginning with God in the beginning. So rather than the Trinity being the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, it's the Father, El Elyon, the Holy Spirit, the Mother, Ashira, and the Son, Yahweh.
Sure.
Yep, it has, and the thing about it is like me coming to that conclusion is I use the same sort of cross-textual referencing that they use to try to shoehorn Jesus into the Old Testament. So it literally has the same merit. I'm just doing it from the other way rather than putting Jesus into a narrative that he didn't exist. I'm taking the narrative that the whole Bible came from, the Canaanite pantheon, and reintroducing them into the narrative based on the text.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's valid. I like that, actually. That is good.
Yeah, I told you. It's an interesting one. It's the first one I'm hearing myself.
I'm not going to take up too much more space. I know y'all need room for the believers to come in, but I also know that there are 62 people in here, and you're only at 4.3K likes. Y'all can tap that app like David tapped his wives. Get this guy over 10K likes, and follow if you feel inclined. Join the fan club, send the heart me's and the gifts. Make sure that you're supporting the people there doing the not Lord's work.
That was a good one. I like that. Appreciate you, man.
No problem. I'm going to follow you. And whenever you are entertaining friendlies, I might come.
Hell yeah, brother. I usually do have, at minimum, I usually have at least one co-host up. And then usually when it's someone that's repeatedly come on for a few months, I'll have like 2 up. Like I usually have 2 biologists up at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, brother. You have yourself a good day.
No problem. You too. See you later.
All right. Adios.
Bye, Jaden.
Oh,
you don't know how many friends I have that want to meet you. There's a few right now. You're light, dude. You're really fucking light.
oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So you guys know that I don't give a fuck about what the actual words say. If you guys do have interest in debating what is actually said in the word, specifically the Bible, and you guys want to request up and chat with Jaden about that, you can go ahead and do that, and I will just keep shut up, and you guys can debate the quote-unquote goodness of a genocidal maniac. So yeah, if you guys want to do that, go on ahead.
No, I can debate that. Don't try and come at me with the prophecies. Oh, fuck all that. I can't do the prophecies.
Those are the most simple ones, man.
I don't know why it's the text that really fucks me up, because a lot of, like, with Isaiah 7, I think it's in there, with the whole virgin birth, like you have to be able to explain that virgin doesn't mean virgin in the Hebrew, and I struggle to remember the words, and it fucks me up. It fucks me up so bad.
Yeah. Are you on your computer?
No, I'm gonna be signing in on my computer here soon. I use my phone right now.
Do you have a computer?
Yeah, I have a Chromebook.
Okay. And it works fine so that you can like be able to stream and do your research at the same time?
Yeah.
Do you have a second monitor?
No.
I can send you either a laptop or a second monitor.
Oh no, dude, it's all good.
Okay, brother. You let me know. We're going to get up Abdul. I think he would love to chat Bible with you.
You know who he is? Okay.
We've talked a couple of times.
Let me get up my... Let me find it here.
All right, Abdul, are you wanting to talk specifically Bible verses? Or do you want to provide evidence?
Ephesians 13:57.
I didn't ask that. I asked you, do you want to specifically talk about the Bible, or do you want to provide evidence for a God? Which one? If you can't answer, I'm going to move on to someone else. Gavin, let's get you up. How's it going, Gavin?
Hey, what's up?
You over the age of 18, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Which religion do you follow?
Christianity.
All right, brother. What you got for us?
I'm not here to try and change your mind.
You should be. 1 Peter 3:15. So what you got for us today?
There is no direct proof of it, but it's because you need to have faith in the works in the gospel.
Hey, that's a nice claim and cop out.
Gospels just contradict each other.
It's the principle. It's the principle of it's like the purpose behind the gospel. It's not for anybody to try and influence you to follow. It's a
pure cop-out, because Adam and Eve did not need pure faith. They literally, according to the Bible, walked physically with God. So we know for a fact that you don't need faith.
They were the first man and woman on earth.
According to the story, yes. And according to the story, you did not need faith to believe in a God. So no, you do not need the faith.
Because that was the introduction of God.
So why do you need the faith? Why do you have to have a belief without evidence like an idiot?
Because it's the purpose of the gospel to have.
So it's the purpose of the gospel to be illogical and dumb. That's stupid. Why would I believe that?
It's faith in a higher...
Belief without evidence is the definition of faith, even in accordance with Hebrews 11:1. Come on now. So why the fuck would I be dumb enough to believe something without evidence? That's dumb. That's called indoctrination.
Well,
that's how cults form.
I don't think you're dumb. I think you have a biased
brother.
Sense
that's
of judgment,
literally how cults are formed. Spreading a belief through indoctrination, which by definition is spreading a belief uncritically on top of the definition of faith being belief without evidence. You are spreading a belief without evidence, and people must follow it and follow the dogma in order to not be burned alive for an eternity. That is a cult. By all the definitions therein, that is a cult.
Well, not in purpose and intent behind the word of God.
100% purely is the intent of it. It is 100%.
Because God gives you eternal salvation for worldly sins, allowing you into the
and for the
kingdom of
simple
heaven.
act of him failing to provide any evidence to justify a belief in him, you will be tortured for eternity. While Jeffrey Dahmer is in heaven, you will be in hell. That's fucking stupid. It's fucked up. His morals suck.
Well, it's because you need to have faith to embody.
Again, that is
what
stupid.
The scripture
Belief
says.
without evidence is stupid. That is literally illogical. Literally.
Well, I'm telling you now, you can reap the benefits of the positive feelings you get from following Jesus Christ.
I have
and
positivity without that.
I can try and explain it in a more
you
atheist
gotta
way.
remember. No, you gotta remember. Cody literally used to be a Christian. He grew up Christian, whole 9 yards. There's nothing you can tell him about this feeling that he wouldn't already know.
Well, who's to say that's not part of your path to finding God?
Then
Because
provide the evidence to justify that claim. What you have said is unicorns exist. You must believe in the unicorn without evidence for the unicorn, and you must believe in the unicorn without evidence for the unicorn to get an everlasting unicorn life. That is all you're doing. Claim. Fuck the claims, justify them with evidence. I don't give a fuck about the claim. I care about the evidence that says I should believe in it.
Is the faith you put into
No,
the
by literal definition,
pause.
No, you may not, because you're saying it incorrectly. Hebrews 11:1 states evidence that faith is evidence. The definition of faith is belief without evidence. That is literally by definition not evidence. It is to believe without evidence, but instead believe with spiritual conviction, which is non-existent without any justification. So no, you're saying over and over and over and over that faith is evidence is dumb. It is illogical.
The justification is that the scripture is in existence. Do you think there would
Wonderful. Why aren't you a Muslim? Why aren't you a Hindu? Why aren't you a Buddhist? Why aren't you a pagan? Why don't you follow the Greek gods?
Can I elaborate?
Come on now. That's stupid. They all have scriptures. They all have dogmas. It is dumb to just believe it because it's written on a fucking piece of paper. I don't believe in Harry Potter, but it's written on a piece of paper. So what evidence justifies? No, shut up. What evidence justifies the piece of paper as true?
There's no justification for it.
Exactly, because it is illogical and not true. It is illogical
based
and
on
untrue.
Your judgment.
Based on all the evidence and lacking thereof to have a justification, it is not true. There's no evidence justifying it as true, so there's no justification to believe it as true. Faith is not a justifier. It is not going to bring you towards anything truth. I can have faith that I am God. That does not make me God. I can have faith that tomorrow the universe is going to become a fucking Play-Doh. It's not true. Yeah, duh. It is your logic. I just did an internal critique on the way that you think, and you just agreed that that is not logical. You agreed that you are uncritical. You just agreed.
The gospel is meant to convey this external.
Jaden, I'll let you. This guy is like literally, like he devolved. Holy shit, he still lives in a cave.
Because your argument
Gavin, shut up. I'm gonna let
based on
Jaden work on you. You're
bias.
incapable of comprehending critical thought and logic, and nothing in the world is going to help your lack of brain cells gain new brain cells. So I'm gonna let Jaden deal with you on the actual scriptures.
Okay, you keep on bringing up scripture, and I don't really know what you're trying to prove with that right now, because the Gospels get everything. Every time, like, look at Jesus' resurrection, for an example. They can't agree once at what took place. They can't agree what happened at the tomb. They can't agree what time it took place. They can't agree on shit during that day. Matthew speaks of a whole different event, and I know people say that's an argument of silence, but it's really not. And regardless of that part, let's talk about what God said. 1 Samuel 15. Let's read it, shall we?
Well, isn't man imperfect in the image of God?
Huh?
So man is imperfect in the image of God, therefore human accounts will be flawed. There's no, it's the word of God. Like, I'm sorry, I'm rusty on the terms and like the exact, but like the word of God is meant to lead you in the direction of finding the true purpose behind the word. Because if you read the Bible objectively, yes, your logic holds up and is sound, but
there's no reason for me to ever trust the Gospels when they can't agree on the most important part in their whole book. They can't agree on a singular detail besides the fact that he died and resurrected. That's it.
That's okay then. That's okay, because it's not up. It's not up to me to try and convince you.
Yes, it is. 1 Peter 3:15. It is your job.
Or not in the sense that you have to accept exactly what I'm saying.
Obviously we don't, but it's your duty to explain it and provide the justification for it, of which you're not doing. All you're doing is coping and running.
No, that's exactly the point, because my explanation of it will inherently be flawed, and it's on you.
If it's flawed, then you shouldn't believe in it. That means
No,
it's
it's
not
because
working.
I
If something is
already
flawed, it doesn't work correctly, so you should not fucking believe
I
it.
already said are we not created, or wait, are we not a part of man? We are humans.
That was not even a full
Therefore,
fucking sentence. Try that again with English.
yeah, I'm stumbling over my words, but we are created as
Prove it.
man, which is imperfect.
Prove we are created.
According to the gospel, which is because
you're talking about, you're telling me right now I should believe anonymous, non-eyewitness accounts written decades after supposed events. I should just take them at their fucking word, even though they're non-eyewitness accounts. They're completely fucking anonymous. We have no clue about any of it.
You're supposed to take it as it is. It's not. It's not. The truth
I don't,
isn't in the
because
words
it is dumb.
Okay, so then, you're saying, this is flawed, right? So then how do you determine in any way, shape, or form that anything is true in this book? Literally, how are you determining anything? If you're just going to sit there and make an excuse for every single contradiction I could bring up, every single flaw I can bring up, and just say, it's human-made, so yeah, you're going to expect flaws, and what the fuck am I supposed to trust in this goddamn book?
I don't know what to say to that, but my faith is a reflection of the purpose of the gospel. And I'm not saying just my faith.
You literally just said that your lack of evidence for your belief substantiates your lack of evidence in a belief. You're not using language, dude.
All right, I'm just going to read off 1 Samuel 15 for you, and then let's see what you have to say. Samuel said to Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now therefore listen to the words of the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, this is Yahweh speaking. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. This happened 400 years ago, all right? Now go and attack Amalekite and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, children and infant, oxen, sheep, camel, and donkey. This is coming straight from God, okay? So your God, your all-loving, all-justified God, right, commanded the death of children, infant, man and woman.
My knowledge isn't perfect about that exact situation, but what was the context of that verse?
That's the context. That is literally the context. This is the first verse of this chapter.
What was the meaning behind the action of that eradication and like wrath?
The meaning, the reason is I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. This event that the Lord is speaking of here happened 400 years prior. This was not a current event. That is the justification and the reason that Yahweh gives for attacking the Amalekites, including infant and children. Your all-loving, all-good God commanded this. This is the context. This is literally the first verse of 1 Samuel 15.
In which book is that?
The Bible.
Which one though? I'm not perfect on my which scripture is this?
Samuel. It's 1 Samuel 15.
That's actually a really good point. And I'm sure if I was more versed, I'd probably come up with another bullshit argument, but I don't have anything to say to that other than the faith that I have in the gospel, and that's basically what I was saying.
Dude, the gospels they rarely agree with each other. They twist what Jesus said. Go look at Mark 7, the story of the Gentile woman, and then go look at Matthew 15, the Canaanite woman, where Matthew rips off that story and changes what Jesus said. So you can't trust them. The faith that you're having is bullshit. You're
also just the contradictions in the Bible are also attributed to the human flaws. Like you said, he changed the story.
You literally just agreed that your own argument was absolute horseshit. You just conceded.
Well, yeah, because I'm not the best person to convey this idea.
Right. So you should, if we are able to defeat your argument that fucking easily, you should probably second guess what you believe and question why you still believe it if it is that wrong.
Well, if you're so opposed to the idea of the gospel, then why don't you go argue with
There's no evidence for it.
Brother,
Then
he
why
was
don't you go to people
His
that
dad was a pastor. What do you mean? Dude, you're trying to act as if he has no background
I
in this
was
shit.
an
He's
apologetic
so
street preacher.
has he converted his dad to atheism?
I don't talk to him because I don't want to do that.
That's your own doing. That's your own doing.
I don't want to fight with him, so I avoid the conversation in its entirety. When I was a Christian, I would apologetically street preach. So again, I do that. But Gavin, that's just a pivot from you realizing that you conceded. You have no justification for your belief. It is 100% illogical belief without evidence. You have no reason to believe it. You have no evidence for it. You have nothing going for you at all except for running in circles with the same argument of just believe it because you should believe it. That's stupid.
Well, I'll send you a couple gifts. I don't got a very solid argument, but you gotta find God, man.
Keep your gifts for yourself. Save up. You have yourself a good day. We're gonna move on to the next guy. All right. Truth Dog's gonna come in here. He's going to really not like. He wants to talk scripture, so I'm just gonna let you handle him. So, age and religion. First questions for you. I'll let you take over.
Truth Dog.
No, I have no hurt from the church. I have zero church trauma. Fucking loved church.
Do I need to ask him because we already know? Or
you're good. You're good. Yeah, Truth Dog. What you got?
All right. Do you think the first human was a male or a female?
Don't give a shit. What evidence do you have for God?
Well, I gave it to you before and you didn't accept it, so
because you don't have any.
Oh, well, according to your belief.
No, according to all justification in epistemology and logic and all physics, you had no evidence.
Do you believe in miracles?
No. Why should I?
Life is a miracle in itself?
No. Why should I?
I mean, you can't create it. I mean, nobody can create life.
No shit. So why should I believe in miracles?
I mean, inorganic material can't come from organic or person.
It did.
So you're saying that inorganic material produced organic material?
Yes, dumbass. Have you ever looked at the Miller-Urey experiment?
No, I didn't.
You should, because they literally did that step by step and taught exactly how they did it, how it works, and that it factually happened. We know for a fact that inorganic becomes organic and that it can turn into self-replication through many different means, thanks to all of the... Here, I'll read it to you. Step 1, they set up a early Earth closed system with a flask lower, flask upper, and glass tubing connecting them. They filled it with inorganic, like methane, ammonia, hydrogen, water vapor, no oxygen gas. And then they used energy sources like electrodes and fire. They cooled it and condensed it because that's what the early Earth did. They ran it for a few days, let the system work, and then they got organic molecules from that. They got amino acids, glycine and alanine, and other small organics. So they literally got inorganic to become organic. Those sources are going to be, let's look at the source, Miller-Urey. They did not use any cells. They used no DNA. They did not use RNA. There was no replication there. But then we go into the accumulation of organic molecules in chemical evolution. Okay, so we got the inorganic to organic, and the rest of the steps were caused by evolution. How do we know this? Because we have goddamn fucking fossils.
Right. We got fossils of big things that flew through the air and crawled over the earth and would have...
I just gave you a step-by-step process on inorganic becoming organic, dude. What are you fucking arguing for?
I don't believe in evolution.
I just gave you proof that God had anything to do with that, dude. It's a natural process.
Yeah, natural predators would have eaten.
No, it's natural because of nucleotides, you dumbass. Holy shit, what year did you fucking drop out of? I'm a high school dropout and I know this.
Yeah, I watched
nucleotides are what help you fucking have self-replication and which has new additions of DNA and RNA that allows for a different evolution, because evolution is changes in allele frequency over generations. So when you have a kid and that kid has a kid and that kid has a kid, that is by literal definition evolution. You are so slow with this and you keep on saying God has anything to do with it. Wonderful. Demonstrate any causal mechanism for God having anything to do with that.
Well, you know, babies crying in the wilderness.
No, truth, stop.
So many predators would have been out there to eat everyone.
You have to provide a causal mechanism. You are saying God did evolution. Prove it. This is a scientific, empirical claim. Prove it.
I think, all right, I'm going to invite him to unmute because he probably can't find the fucking button.
Yeah, you know, you have claims and theories and all that sort of thing.
Holy shit, another stupid tangent. When you unmute, provide the evidence that demonstrates a causal mechanism link in relationship for evolution and God.
I'll be right back, Cody, as well.
Yep. All right.
You don't have any evidence.
Oh my fucking God, another pivot. I asked you to provide the causal mechanism for a God with evolution, and all you do is pivot to, you don't know this though, you don't do this. No, I'm asking you. I have demonstrated the Abiogenesis Miller-Urey experiment and how we have replication for evolution through nucleotides. I also explained the fucking definition of evolution to you, which you did not deny and you granted. And then you still granted that God had anything to do with that without any evidence at all. You have to justify that claim. You are the one with the claim. I have a claim, and then I provided evidence, step-by-step process. Your fucking turn, old man. All right, Ravas, I'm going to let you handle the rest of him while I let the dog out and go to the restroom.
Valid.
Okay, can I unmute now? Yeah, like, you know, during the earliest days of man on Earth, there were so many predators out there that they had litters of babies. Man had only one baby at a time, maybe two. But animals had litters, and they were hungry. They could hear things a mile away that human ears couldn't hear. They could smell better, and they were very hungry. And the little baby crying in the woods would have been eaten by predators.
No, you don't seem to understand this. The reason why we survived is because we're a social species. We are animals. We are a social animal. So we formed groups in which we protected each other's infants.
Right, and you had sticks and rocks to throw at the pterodactyls flying through the air that were going to swoop down.
There were no pterodactyls in the time of humans. We did not survive in the same time period as dinosaurs did. So no. But like the thing is, there were no flying. We didn't have any flying predators. We had predators that were on the ground, but we handled that by moving into different regions.
In the water, we had water predators that would ate us up in the water. We had bacteria and viruses that we were protected from. They would have took us over, really. I mean, they would have definitely.
We got all those viruses and things. We literally had several bottlenecking events where we nearly
I have to get going, Faye. I'll be back in maybe like 10-15 minutes. So yeah, you just have fun. I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, so the whole thing is that like we nearly unalived as a species several times. The reason why we didn't is because we happen to be good at socializing. Like the thing is it has nothing to do with any kind of God concept, anything like that. You would need to provide evidence for that. Providing incredulity just shows your ignorance. It doesn't show any evidence.
Yeah, I'm just going by the laws of nature. You know, you see out in nature
all the
ways that we could have been not here.
I mean, you're talking out your ass, and that's, one thing. But, like, we can stop, and we can breathe, and we can say, hey, what are the causal mechanisms here, right? So, the mechanisms in which we were able to survive is because we're social. We were able to protect each other's young, and we didn't have a mechanism of surviving disease. A lot of times, mass amounts of the human population unalived off because of disease. Look at scarlet fever, right? So, like, when it comes down to it, unless you can provide a mechanism in which God had a hand in any of this, where we can look and we can actually see the mechanism, you're talking nonsense.
Well, so
Man was fearful. Man still is fearful of wild animals. They always have been.
That's not a mechanism.
Special to stick together. We couldn't possibly fight with an animal.
So I can answer probably most of your questions and give you specific responses because I did just come from my paleoanthropology class. So it's fresh in my head. What about ancient humans? Do you have questions about how they survived?
Yeah, how would a man pick up a stick and fight off an animal that's twice his size, a gorilla or whatever?
It wasn't one man, it was 10. That's
still. Man wasn't that big. Men are bigger than they used to be.
5 feet tall. 5 feet tall. 10 men that are 5 feet tall with long, pokey sticks is definitely something that can ward off a predator.
Yeah, they had to sleep. Sometimes they had to go out and hunt food.
Yeah. Ever heard of a guard watch?
So who had the first human, a woman or a man who was born without sex? There was no sexual action involved with the first human.
So that's kind of an arbitrary question because Homo sapiens. What do you mean by human? Homo sapiens? Do you mean Sahelanthropus? What do you mean? Do you mean the hominin lineage?
Yeah, like boil it down to the first human to set foot on the dirt here on this earth.
Again,
was it
how
did that come about? With a female brought it in?
Truth, stop. 1 second. You are asking a nonsensical question because you're asking which human was first. That's a nonsensical question because before sex there was self-replication. We, as humans, did not fucking spawn as humans. Over billions of years, we evolved from self-replication. It did not require gender.
And then, very quickly after self-replication, there was sexual reproduction.
Damn near immediately.
We can reproduce ourselves without.
Dude, self-replication is a fucking fact. Jesus Christ. No, we cannot fucking do that.
Truth talk. We, humans,
complex.
There's very few like multicellular organisms that can self-reproduce. Like I think the only ones are probably something like starfish and mourning geckos. Like there's very few animals that are but even then that's not self-replication. That's asexual reproduction. Self-replication, it was like a cell. It's like a cell that's it's splitting in two.
Yep.
You know. Eventually, cells develop. Eventually, cells develop gametes, and that leads to, and also with the production of oxygen in the atmosphere due to photosynthesis, that causes more cellular reproduction to become a thing, and cells basically become sticky, and they stick together more. And they start working as a system because it's advantageous to that system. And then through billions of years of evolution, we'll go to the first big. It's called the Cambrian explosion for a reason. About 500 million years ago, tons of multicellular organisms, boom. In diversity. Like there were multicellular organisms, but they were very small. They were probably not too bony if they had bones. They are very hard for them to fossilize, so we don't have tons of evidence of them, unfortunately, but we still know they existed.
So there are proteins and enzymes they created themselves, and their DNA was created by themselves?
Dude,
so
you're simplifying
it. Origin of life research. I was talking about origin of multicellular organisms.
Evolution is not the same as abiogenesis, truth dog. When you asked us where we originally came from, we are going to go into evolution because that is of where we came from. If you want to talk about what started life in general, the very first life to have ever formed, we're going to be talking about abiogenesis, completely separate from human life.
Yeah, completely separate topics. Related, but separate. No matter if what any of the models of abiogenesis, say God did make the first single-celled organism, that does not disprove any of evolution. That still means all of evolution is still true. And it started
all we know from science is what we were given, the information what we were given, they come from somewhere.
Well, currently we don't know. So currently there is not a true theory of abiogenesis as there is
the reasoning is just because there's 3 different mechanisms in which the self-replication started, and those 3 different mechanisms are going to be either, and you know this, Evan, hydrothermal vents, meteorites, UV-driven reactions, or atmospheric synthesis. That is why it's not a scientific theory, is because we don't know which one of these mechanisms is the true mechanism in which it actually happened, but we do know it happened from one of them.
Yeah, and just saying, again, to reiterate my point, even if God, splashed down the first Fuka, that does not mean any of evolution is not true. Because we know
evolution
that
basically is just change, like that.
Because here's the thing, truth talk. In the I think the current best leading model is the RNA world hypothesis. I subscribe to an RNA and evolution theory, just like gravity, yeah, girl. Okay, it's true. All right, abiogenesis there's multiple models of abiogenesis, but multiple that do work, some that don't work fully, some that don't work at all. And we work with the ones that work partially or work fully, and try to replicate it. Like we've replicated, or not replicated. We've actually done this in simulating a similar pool and similar atmosphere of early Earth conditions.
I gave him the literal step-by-step of Miller-Urey.
Yeah, I'm saying no. I'm talking about how we've actually made chains of 53 RNA, which is quite like that's not life. But that is organic. That is very close to life. That I wouldn't consider that life because technically viruses aren't alive, but that is organic material that is able to undergo evolutionary processes. So basically, you need that, and you need enzymes, and you need a lipid bilayer, and that can form a proto-cell. And all those things were, apart from RNA, which we don't know conclusively if that was plentiful, but we know it exists at least. But we know that RNA, we know that enzymes, and we know that lipid bilayers can form together, because RNA likes sticking to stuff. Okay, and then that forms a proto-cell, which is able to undergo catalyzation and metabolize. Now, is it life? I would not consider it life. No.
But that's how we get RNA-like chains, yeah.
But it's a proto-cell.
Yep.
So that's the current leading hypothesis with the most evidence.
Yeah, we have RNA world hypothesis and
DNA world hypothesis.
Yeah, so RNA is the most likely.
Yeah.
Do you think believing in God would be a reasonable explanation for how life came about?
No, because there's no evidence for that.
There's no evidence. There's evidence for RNA. There's evidence for the RNA world hypothesis. There's evidence for multiple other abiogenesis models, but there's no evidence of God creating the first life.
Is there evidence of how your RNAs and enzymes could be created? Without anything?
We have both explained it to you multiple times.
In how enzymes form naturally currently. We already know this. How RNA forms naturally, we're using a model and also simulating the environment in a lab. We can simulate the early Earth conditions, and we've been able to make RNA chains of up to 53 chains long.
That is a fact.
Huge. Yeah. In other experiments that did more of a hydrothermal vent model, we able to form chains of 4 chains, which is much smaller. Where's your evidence for early Earth? It's called sediment layers, your girl. Please learn about them. They're quite important. It's how we find oil. I'd like to say something. Everyone who denies evolution believes in gas, believes in gasoline and oil.
Fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels. Which, by the way, most oil
fossils aren't real. Don't ever drive ever again.
But by the way, most fossil fuels actually come before most fossils that we find actually come from. They come from way earlier. That's correct. The good oil. But yeah, there's your evidence for early Earth again. Yeah, sediment layers. They're super cool.
Indy, I've provided multiple.
Discover them as a gift.
What?
Yeah, all your knowledge, science uncovers all these things. They can dig through the earth and see what's down in there. It's there for you to discover, like that. But, when it comes down to the basic, where did the building block originate
We explained
from?
it.
No
yes, we did. We explained that to you multiple times, Truth. Are you purposefully ignoring what we are saying? Do you want me to explain again how we got inorganic to organic? I will give you the it's a 6-step process from Miller-Urey, and then we have from the organic into evolution. Do you want all the steps again?
No, I sure don't need it.
Obviously you do if you keep saying the same thing over and over that we don't know.
Yeah, matter had to been created.
Matter is not created either. It's an emergent property of energy.
It's emergent property of energy. And energy it's not matter.
Energy was not created either, Truth Dog. First law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created.
Truth Dog, by the way, it's not like matter coming into existence. It's molecules forming from the environment.
The environment was created then, right?
No, it formed naturally through gravity.
Through gravity and through fear smashing into Earth, and from the late heavy bombardment, and from the Earth's magnetic core keeping the atmosphere. That's why we have an atmosphere, by the way.
What do you mean, who created gravity?
That was me. Sorry.
Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna have a heart attack, dude.
Gravity's the result of pressure, I think, isn't it?
What?
What? Gravity's come from... Gravity comes from mass.
Moving, yeah.
No, just mass. Anything with mass has gravity. Doesn't need to move. Anything with mass has a sphere of influence.
Well, what is zero gravity?
I don't
zero
fucking
gravity
know.
doesn't actually exist. When people are like in the ISS, they're actually anything called microgravity. Which technically, it's not actually zero gravity. It's just that relative to Earth's gravitational pull, you feel zero weight, but you still have mass, which means there's still gravity on the ISS, of course, which is obviously not nearly as much on Earth. But also, it's actually microgravity because imagine you're in free fall, okay, falling down. Complete free fall, there actually be no air resistance actually. So you complete free fall in the vacuum of space. You're falling down, down, down. But before you hit the atmosphere, you actually, because you're going sideways fast enough, you actually get, because there's nothing to pull you away, and because there's no air resistance to stop you.
Life did not evolve quickly.
It took 3.5 billion years to get to us.
If 3.5 billion is very small to you, you need a psych scan.
Yeah. And by the way, it took about 2 billion years to get to photosynthesis. Anyway, but like literally, when people in the ISS, they are effectively falling, but they're also moving sideways around the Earth quick enough that they don't fall into the atmosphere. However, actually, where the ISS is, there is like barely any, but there is still some molecules, and over time, every couple of years, they have to adjust their orbit to slightly so they make sure they don't fall too low, and be at risk to falling into the atmosphere.
Doesn't photosynthesis require light?
Yes.
Yes.
And light was not created?
The sun was not created.
The sun was created through gravity.
Also,
gravity was created.
The sun is so massive.
Holy shit, Truth Dog. Every time we give you an explanation, your next thing is, well, then this was created. Then this was created. Well, then this was created. No, it wasn't.
Also, Truth Dog, we weren't talking about photosynthesis. I just responded to your girl's comment. So, like, Truth Dog, I was explaining what 0G, which isn't an actual thing, is. It's actually a thing called microgravity.
Life requires water. Who created water?
Son of a bitch.
I mean, water is also like incredibly abundant. We don't realize that. Actually, technically no, because only about 2% of the entire universe is actually anything else other than hydrogen and helium.
We're not terrified of God existing.
It'd be cool. Then I'd know. My head hurts. It's okay, Gary.
So, Truth Dog, here's the point. Every single time you bring up, oh, well, this was created, we can provide you a mechanism in which demonstrates a natural formation of said thing. Every single fucking time you say it was created, we prove you wrong. 100% of the time, we prove you wrong. There's no reason to believe anything was created by a divine agent.
No rational reason.
God created the heavens, that's space, and the earth, that's matter. Time, space, and matter. That's brought the first thing in.
That's a claim, Truth Dog. That's a claim, not evidence.
Right. Well,
also, if you're gonna believe the Bible, you should believe most of the Bible, because that includes Genesis, which we know is false. You're reading off of Genesis. If you're gonna take that as
Indy, do you want to request up again? You're talking a lot of shit for someone that doesn't know anything about anything.
It says God says don't add to it or take away from it.
Also, Indy, you said the host doesn't allow arguments that require explanations to steamrolls. I mean, I'm explaining.
Incorrect, Indy.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's a straw man. You should request up and learn something today.
Yeah, that's not what the Big Bang is. It's not to my knowledge, because we don't truly know what's before the Big Bang, if there was a before.
Did you know that before the beginning, the fairies created God so that they'd have a clown to laugh at? Like this is what your arguments boil down to, Truth Dog. Like your arguments boil down to, I'm gonna listen to I'm gonna wait patiently for my turn to talk. When it's my turn to talk, I'm gonna say something completely off topic. I'm not gonna even try to, challenge their point. I'm just gonna go into my next script thing. It shows that you're not using your brain. Your brain is growing cobwebs right now because you're not intellectually handling anything that's being thrown at you.
Right. I believe in God through the miracles in my life that I've witnessed.
Did you just see that he did it again? Holy fuck, Truth Dog. As I explained how you did it, you just did it again. The fuck? Can you just think about what we're saying for 2 seconds?
It's hard for me to really put any value on what you're saying. You're not explaining how things came about.
Yes, I did.
I have.
We all have.
Truth Dog,
Truth Dog? Alright, here's the deal. Alright, everyone be quiet. Truth Dog, here's the deal. The Big Bang Theory. We know the Big Bang Theory thanks to CMB radiation. We know that the universe was in a hot, dense state. No, it was not created. It was that of energy. It was in a state of energy. Radiation, to be exact. Energy, the first law of thermodynamics, cannot be created or destroyed. Therefore, it's always exist. Okay? That expanded 13.8 billion years ago thanks to dark energy. And it is currently still expanding. We are in the Big Bang expansion. The Earth and the Sun were formed through gravity. The Earth was formed after and thanks to the Sun. The Bible is wrong about that. It says the Earth came first. The Earth is younger than the Sun. The Bible says otherwise. What's our evidence for that? We can date fucking rocks. Okay, next. I gave you step-by-step Miller-Urey and all the other hypotheses for abiogenesis, and we know that it is true. We just don't know which mechanism is the actual mechanism that it did it through. We have 3+ mechanisms that are all able to be true. We just want to be direct and accurate and say which one is actually the true one. But we know it works. I have explained that step by step. Step 1. They had glass apparatuses, lower, upper, and tubing. They filled them with inorganic gases, which were methane, ammonia, hydrogen, water vapor, no oxygen gas. They added energy, electrodes, and fire. They cooled it. They let it sit. They watched it, observed change in it, okay? And then the results were they got new amino acids, glycine and alanine, and other small Okay, so we learned from that organic molecules can form abiotically from simple gases plus energy. We know that for a fact. Thank you, Miller-Urey. Next, from direct molecules to self-replicating system. Okay, these are the multiple hypotheses that are all demonstrably plausible. We have 1. Accumulate organic molecules in specific environments, chemical evolution. Once organics exist, they must concentrate somewhere instead of staying infinitely dilute. The sources, we're going to have atmospheric synthesis, which is from Miller-Urey, hydrothermal vents, meteorites. Those are the 3 options that the self-replication came about. All 3 plausible, and it can happen, and we are able to observe it to this day. This is where self-replication came from. One of those 3. We do not know which one it actually was, but we know all 3 are plausible.
We left already.
Oh, anyways, concentration mechanism for the concentration of them. Evaporation in ponds.
Can I try and correct you? Self-replication itself came from already cells existing. From
yes, amino acids and nucleotides can link into change into the right conditions. Dehydration on hot surfaces or in tidal cycles can drive condensation reactions. Minerals like clays can catalyze polymerization of nucleotides into short RNA-like chains, shown in lab. Result, random peptides and nucleic acid-like polymers with no design, just chemistry. So they were created from regular old chemistry. Emergence of information-bearing foldable polymers. Some random polymers will have structures that let them bind, fold, or catalyze reactions. Some sequences fold into stable 3D shapes like primitive enzymes or ribozymes. RNA world hypothesis. RNA-like molecules can both store information and catalyze reactions. Lab ribozymes today can catalyze their own partial replications or copy other DNA strands. Selection on replicating or quasi-replicating molecules. Onset of Darwinian evolution. Once any molecule can help make more copies of itself, directly or indirectly, selection kicks in. Imperfect copying, variants of the original sequence. Some variants replicate faster or more reliably in that environment. Chemical populations shift over time toward better replicators, which is Darwinian evolution. And then we get proto-cells. Self-replicating chemistry becomes more robust when trapped in compartments. Fatty acids and simple lipids spontaneously form vessels, primitive membranes, and water. If replicating polymers get trapped inside vessels, you can now have proto-cells. Proto-cells that grow, divide, and keep their internal replicators gain a primitive form of heredity. Coupling metabolism, replication, and membrane growth over time. Networks of reaction link replication to resource use and membrane dynamics. Some polymers catalyze reactions that produce more membrane components or energy-rich molecules. Proto-cells with more efficient internal chemistry grow and divide more often. This sets the stage for the transition from chemistry in bubbles to the first true cells. That is literally step by step from Miller-Urey up to Darwinian evolution. It is annoying to me when they say you don't know anything. It is not a scientific theory because there are so many plausible hypotheses, all of which that are actually equally plausible to be true. We don't know which one actually happened. We know all of them could have been the case. We are, in science, extremely goddamn fucking precise. So we want to know which one it specifically was before we state that as true. All of those are true. All of those are plausible. We don't know which one actually happened.
Yeah, but who created the molecule?
No, yeah, girl. Plausible requires evidence that is in accordance and not contradictory to physics and logic. Your God breaks both.
Yeah, but who created the molecule?
I'm going to fight you.
But that's literally what that guy was doing.
Yes, literally.
Like,
every single explanation, he would nitpick one thing and say, who created that?
I thought, because I saw that we've seen this guy before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like
multiple times.
I've seen this guy before. And on anthropology, I just came from my paleoanthropology class. I'm tired now, but I have this fresh in my head. Let me get some tea and I'll join in. And I get my tea and I join up and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, I do have a caller that's been waiting on YouTube for 27 minutes. I'm going to get him in. Barry, you are live. How is it going? You're currently muted?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, there you are. Yeah, if you want to make sure that the YouTube is muted up, you'll be able to hear me directly and without any...
Yep,
awesome.
I can hear you.
All right, you're over the age of 18?
So I guess question for you, because it seems like just listening to the previous caller, you guys are really into science, but Would you agree that science makes a lot of presuppositions?
Are you over the age of 18?
I am.
And which religion do you follow?
I'm a Orthodox
Christian, Catholic?
Christian.
Okay. Why should I believe in your God?
Well, again, I guess like you're kind of talking about science.
Let's say
right now.
science is 1,000% unknown. Why should I believe in your God? I'm not doing burden shifting today. You can explain with evidence why I should have a justified belief, or you can fuck off. I have no patience for any burden shifting anymore.
I have with you guys though. So
I have a problem with you without providing evidence for your beliefs and then claiming your beliefs as absolute. So you can provide your evidence or you can fuck off. That's the second time I'll say
well,
it.
At least just try to let me get out what I'm trying to say.
You can provide the evidence without a tangent, and you don't need to cry about how you don't like what I do. You don't need to cry about how mean I am. What you can do is, here is my evidence. What do you think about it?
All right, so at least let me get my thoughts out there real quick, and then you can either kick me or call me an idiot. But what it seems like to me is basically you're starting at third base and you're saying, hey,
False.
provide evidence that God exists, right? But you're presupposing things like logic and reason.
False.
You're doing the same thing when you're doing science. You're saying
false.
Okay, so does science?
So this is a red
logic?
herring. What you're supposed to do is provide me evidence for your God. Red
That's what I'm trying to
herring
tell you
and
is
burden
you-
shifting is
you're
pathetic.
presupposing things to even get to
incorrect. Incorrect. I'm sorry you're ignorant. So I would love for you to provide evidence for your God, though. Are you going to
Okay,
keep on
sir.
burden shifting and pivoting like a coward, or are you going to provide evidence for your God? Which one are you going to do?
Well,
Cry like a bitch
wait
or
a
provide
minute.
evidence?
You tell me where reason and logic.
Here, let me meet you up real quick because you don't fucking chill out. Stop burden shifting. I know nothing about anything. Demonstrate God. Best of luck.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm
No,
saying
you're
that
not.
in order-
You're burden shifting. You're
I'm
burden
not at all.
shifting.
I'm making-
So
I'm
what
making the
evidence do you have?
transcendental-
Wonderful.
I'm-
So, okay, shut the fuck up again. So what you're going to do now is stop burden shifting and you're going to demonstrate how God grounds logic. Best of luck.
Yeah, that's what the transcendental argument is.
So fucking provide it. Stop whining.
Okay, let's start with the laws of logic.
How does God ground anything?
Well, I mean, God is immaterial, right?
That's a definition. So how does God ground logic?
Sure.
Definitions
because
don't equate things to being
God
real.
is-
Harry
God is-
Potter,
Okay, hold on.
Voldemort, Superman, Spider-Man all have definitions. They're not fucking real. So fuck your definition. Demonstrate how it's true.
Are you at least going to let me talk? Or are you just
Nope,
keep
I'm going to
cutting me
kick you
off?
for being a waste of my oxygen. Burden shifting doesn't work over here. If you want to burden shift, go to someone that actually allows it. I don't.
So, by the way, science doesn't.
Yeah, girl, you can either request up and have a chat or fuck off as well. I'm done listening to you just bitch and moan. Same for you, Indy. You can request up or fuck off. Adios. You guys are not talking anymore. It's pathetic. It's annoying. It's ridiculous.
We have Mean Cody today.
That's true. The transcendental argument is just a burden shift, isn't it? I didn't think about it
100%.
like that before. I didn't think about it like that before, but yeah, that's true. I always have tried to attack the points of it, but no, it is just a burden shift.
1000%. There we go. I think I had Ape on the other day. What's up, Ape?
Yeah, what's up, man? I was up here the other day.
Sweet.
I just had bad connection.
Oh, that's right.
I actually was gonna ask you. I caught the tail end of a conversation you had with Hagelfan, and he was talking about the fine tuning argument. And I just wanted to. I only caught the tail end of it, so I was wondering if you remember it and how.
I don't remember
I know he seems
everything,
pretty good,
but here's the thing with fine tuning. I can grant that there's precision. I cannot grant that it was precisely tuned by some tuner. There's no evidence to justify that.
Okay, and when he gave his argument about like how if the evidence is more expected or the data is more expected,
But it wasn't. So that's called so he's bringing up something that would only happen in a supernatural world when we live in a normal world. It is not likely for the stars to align saying Avada Kedavra. That is something that could more likely happen in Harry Potter. It doesn't mean Harry Potter is more likely than in our world, correct? So it's a category error. He's bringing up something that is not likely to happen in a real world scenario, but is likely to happen in a made up fan fiction book. So it doesn't work. It's a category error. And I explained that, and he just cried.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying there, but I'm talking about just like the general principle. I see what your point with the star writing stuff that he was talking about, because I actually did. That was part of the conversation that I was there for. But just like the general principle that when you have some data and the data is better expected under one hypothesis than the other hypothesis, given background information, then you should prefer
if the evidence
hypothesis,
is justified, yes. But you have to have evidence for it. There's no evidence that a god will do or has ever done anything with a star, universe, or people. So there's no justification to believe in it. It's not probable at all. We actually have all the causal mechanisms for all these basic things. Where did the universe come from? It's always existed. First law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created. The hot dense state was that of energy, specifically radiation. How do we know this? CMB radiation, we can track back and see to a hot dense state. How did that hot dense state expand? Dark energy. Okay, there's no need for a creator there. If you want to explain how there is a need for a creator, provide the causal mechanism that a God did it. If not, there's no justification for that belief. It is 100% natural and only likely in a naturalistic worldview because we live in a natural world without any supernatural events. Otherwise, you would have to provide evidence with the burden of proof claiming that there is supernatural. It is your job to prove it.
Okay. Welsh, were you going to say something?
I was going to say that for a hypothesis to be for me at least, I only call the hypothesis something hypothesis if it has evidence, and I've never seen any evidence of God. You know, like that's not a defeated argument. I don't think to his argument, but it's,
interesting. Something's
like,
only.
I'd say a hypothesis, like because another analogy he said was like if I find rat droppings, like in my basement, is it more likely that there's a rat or there's a weird guy in my basement? And like we obviously agreed, like yeah, it's more likely there's a rat. But again, there's evidence of rat, and there's also evidence of weird guy, so it could be the weird guy. But again, there's more evidence of God.
Right, and I guess another thing with the rat dropping thing.
There is no evidence of God.
Right.
You know,
I guess
with that I found
with the rat dropping thing, like if I had a hypothesis that there was a man in my basement placing rat droppings, then I would expect to find rat droppings in my basement. Right?
Correct. Then we would have further evidence to justify both as probably at a 50-50 percentage because you have comparison, which is how probability and likelihood both work, is a comparable evidence-based system. You have evidence of the man, you have evidence of rats, you have evidence of the droppings. There is no evidence for the God. There is evidence for CMB radiation and energy not being created. What evidence is there for God? These are all stupid hypotheticals made up by first-year Phil bros that have no fucking clue what epistemology is.
I mean, that's fair enough.
I wouldn't consider Hegel a Phil bro. He's a bit more evolved than that. He's definitely like a Phil Lord, you know.
A Phil Lord, yeah. I'll let you move on, but I think that maybe like with the man dropping, or like the rat droppings and the man in the basement and the the different hypotheses.
The man droppings.
The man droppings, right? But like if I have a hypothesis that there are rats which poop in my basement, and then there's a man
Ape, this is a made up hypothetical in a world where this is happening. Again, that's why these don't work. You guys are making up hypothetical frameworks for worlds where God does exist, and in those worlds, it is more likely for said scenario. That is not reality. It is a hypothetical concept. That's why these arguments don't work, and that's why philosophy will never prove anything supernatural ever, because we live in a natural world with no justification for supernatural at all. That's why this doesn't work. You need epistemology. Fuck the metaphysics. You need epistemology.
I'm not a theist. I was just investigating different.
I know. It's just his argument was absolutely absurd. Let me take you into a hypothetical of the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Is it more likely that there is a dragon that is breathing fire, or is it more likely that someone dropped a lighter on the ground and it caught fire? Well, it would be more likely in the wizarding world of Harry Potter that the fucking dragon did it. So therefore the dragon is real in my world? Fuck no. But under the hypothesis and the hypothetical of the wizarding world being the true world, therefore it is more likely. That's fucking stupid when it comes to God arguments about actual ontological reality. It doesn't work. It's a category error.
I think what you're saying in Filbro terms is we have higher priors on...
No, it's a category error is what I'm saying. It's literally fucking fallacious. That is the philosophical term for it. It's a category error. We're inputting supernatural world phenomenon into our actual reality to debate which one is more likely with the likeliness of the supernatural world. That doesn't work. I could also say the same thing for gravity. It is more likely in this world where gravity doesn't exist that I can fly. And if that world is true, then which world is it more likely that I fly in? The one where there's no gravity. Yeah, no fucking shit. It's a made-up hypothetical. In our world, we have gravity.
I think that what Hegel's talking about is like super simple.
Hegel is fucking stupid, and Bayesian reasoning requires comparison. Probability requires data and evidence for an analytical conclusion. You still have to have comparison for probability. So no, it still doesn't fucking work, especially because it's in a hypothetical. This is Epistemology 101. You guys, I don't know why you refuse to study epistemology. You do not, there is no such thing as a metaphysical or philosophical framework that creates things. They're concepts, they're hypotheticals that try and make sense of the known reality. When we actually try to make a truth claim about some philosophical concept, it cannot break the laws of physics. It has to align with logic, which is grounded in axiomatic principles of objective reality, which is not bound by our subjective interpretation.
Okay. I mean, I have studied epistemology, and Bayes' theorem is just like...
I'm not saying you in general. I'm saying the people with those arguments. Like Hegel, for instance, if he would have said he grants my reasoning and he understands why I don't grant it because of the hypothetical, we could have ended the conversation well, but he refused to understand the idea that he had a hypothetical where we're talking about the scenario of being in that world in comparison to our world, and he wanted me to agree to his hypothetical, which I agreed that in a hypothetical that would be more likely, but in our actual world, it is not likely. And he refused to work with me and was dishonest. That is why I call him a Filbro. The dishonesty. If I explain something and provided, if I explain something and provide a defeater, explain why my defeater does not work.
I think my connection was still acting up. But
you're good. I make a lot of pauses. That's my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, I still think that what you're saying, because if we're like just using Bayesian reasoning, then what you're basically saying is that we have low priors in like non-physical causal minds, interacting with the world, whereas like with just natural processes, we don't have low priors with that, and so then the naturalistic explanations would win out because, like, yeah, sure, maybe the data of the fine-tuning, like the fine-tuning data, is more predicted under theism than it is under naturalism.
But it's not.
Naturalism has higher priors than theism does, because theism has like these kind of like strange metaphysical entities.
I don't even grant that, because under the hypothetical that theism is true, yes, it's more likely. We don't live in that world. That's why it's a category error.
Well, like, do you think it's more likely? I think this is something pretty trivial. Like, I think it's more likely that we would see the Bible, given that Christianity is true, than given that Christianity is false.
Again, it's a hypothetical presupposing its truth. Presuppositions without justification don't fucking work.
Okay. All right, well, I think that's... I just wanted to recap the conversation, but I think that's pretty much it.
It's specifically those arguments that really infuriate us.
Given the Bible exists, it is more likely that it's true. Fucking what? That's stupid. Therefore, all religions are true? Are you fucking kidding me? That's stupid.
All right, existentialist. All right, let's see your argument, Cody. Calm down a bit. This guy has a spinal cord on his
Hello.
as his profile. So, all right,
How's
existentialist.
it going?
What is your age? Are you over the age of 18?
27.
All right. Is there another name you want us to call you other than existentialist?
Just said exist. You can call me exist. I don't mind.
Exist, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Exist. Oh shoot, I was misreading that. All right. So exist. What religion do you believe in?
I'm not affiliated to any religion whatsoever.
What God do you believe in?
I don't have a belief in a God, but the question that I just want to ask is, do you guys take in the philosophical evidence for God, or you don't consider that to be a thing?
No, logical evidence is not actual evidence, especially for a God claim such as like the Christian God, which directly interacts with the world.
I grant logically sound arguments.
Yeah, logically sound arguments and logically valid arguments, sure, but for logically sound argument, all the premises need to be true.
Yup, which still requires external justification in evidence, something that is falsifiable, demonstrable.
Is my fan making any noise?
Nah.
Gotcha. I'm just making sure. Oh, I'm just laying here playing Pokemon AZ.
Hell yeah.
I'm just laying here researching diseases in T-Rex fossils.
I picked up this book the other day. Pretty happy with it. Ethics by fucking Spinoza.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm trying to find a
I like that
specific.
cover.
It is it's like one of those velvet feeling ones. It's like velvety.
Oh wait, which was the is it Stan? Forget, it's one of the T-Rex fossils that we found and has tuberculosis in its toe.
Eek. What the fuck? That's so random.
Well, like or an infection in its toe. What was that? That might be that might be broken jaw actually.
I can't. My brain's not. Until I get my next vacation, my brain's officially off.
I need a desk.
I'm also playing Minesweeper too, though.
All right, let's see. Do we have any? Okay, I've got Gravy on YouTube. I'm gonna get in. All right, hello, Gravy.
Hey, how's it going?
Going all right, brother. You're over the age of 18?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. What you got for me today? Which religion do you follow?
I'm a Catholic,
Cool.
and I guess since you guys don't want to do presuppositions, I know that you guys
Precepts work.
Presuppositions.
Precepts work, but it's got to be a sound axiom.
Yeah, but you guys are just granting, like the other caller that you guys had, you're granting yourselves logic and reason, and you're not having to justify it, but we don't have to jump into that.
I did justify it, literally.
Yeah, how'd you justify it?
Yeah, logic is grounded in axiomatic principles, same as mathematics. It is true because it's objective to reality, and that's how we're able to ground our thoughts, by testing it against the objective reality. And if it breaks down, it is not true because it doesn't work in reality. What the fuck kind of an argument?
Can you
Axioms, things exist. Axioms, self-evident truths. Do you seriously want to argue meta right now? Because I'm going to drop you so goddamn motherfucking fast. It's so boring. Axioms.
Right,
if you don't grant axioms, you're just stupid, and I'm not arguing with you.
If you're just going to grant yourself logic and a reason, we can.
Dumbass, I didn't fucking grant it. I explained it. Jesus fuck. Bill Bros, god damn. Go outside. Grass is purple. Okay? Go learn. That's a personal attack to myself, if as a joke, if you guys didn't catch that. I was attacking myself.
But you're granting yourself
God
logic.
damn it. I'm gonna suck your fucking big toe. You wanna go?
Ooh.
Yeah, logic is grounded in axiomatic principles. I'm not granting myself logic. If my thoughts don't align with reality, they are wrong. That is what logic is grounded in. Reality. Things exist. A and not A. Non-contradiction. That is what grounds logic. You need to explain how your God grounds it if you disagree.
Sounds like you're granting yourself.
My brother and Odin.
See, the problem is that they'll say stuff like this and keep repeating the same thing
over and over and over.
Like he opened up with like granting it. You explained why you're not just granting it, and then he went right into saying, "Yeah, but it sounds like you're granting it."
His argument was nuh-uh. That was his argument. I explained it again to him, even though he heard my first explanation. He said, I'm just granting it. I said, I'm not granting it. This is what I am granting. Explanation, explanation, explanation. And he said, okay, so you're just granting yourself. Dude, I just explained it. I'm not playing these stupid meta back and forth arguments. We had amazing callers yesterday. I was really hoping today would be the same.
I mean, we haven't had bad callers today from what I've seen. We definitely haven't had good ones.
There's only like one that I'd be willing to post. They've all been boring. For like a basics, you can always read something like oh shit, what's the book called? Kindle Knowledge, Reality, and Value by Michael Huemer. He adds his own epistemology in there, but you don't have to grant it unless you agree with it. But he goes over like all the basics of logic, metaphysics, epistemology, different types of epistemologies and logics. There's many of his arguments I don't agree with. I'm actually in a part of the book right now where I'm like, this is just bullshit because of, but I'm still reading it because, again, just because someone believes things that you don't agree with doesn't mean everything they say is false. So it's good to read everyone. Like I read Descartes, even though I fucking hate his arguments for God, but he's still a fucking genius.
Yeah, I mean, like I read that I don't have enough faith to be an atheist book.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right. Like
I haven't read that one yet.
In a lot of places, I understood what they were saying, but the problem is that they were mixing faith with justified belief.
Yep, that's all the problems. Is I think the most important thing to learn with studying any philosophy or anything is learn about logical fallacies first and foremost. What makes something fallacious and untrue? And then learn about philosophy, the metaphysics. Use the knowledge of what makes something untrue with logic, and then learn about the epistemologies, which one seems to work best in accordance with the evidence justifying it. But I mean, I'm ignorant in philosophy. I'm not a philosopher.
I try my best to close my eyes and not think about philosophy usually.
Philosophy is so fun when you have an honest interlocutor. Like yesterday, we had multiple hour-long conversations, just purely philosophical and scientific, of like the philosophy of like quantum. And it was fun because it was honest back and forth. There were things I didn't know and they were cool with, and I changed my mind on, and there were things they didn't know that I was cool with and I explained and they changed their mind on. That is fun philosophy debate when you're both honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should have stayed on a bit earlier, a bit longer yesterday because I moved on to TBV's live. So.
I know you did, Dick. Cheating on me.
Us. Yeah, how are we supposed to have this power throuple? Like, what the fuck?
I'm glad I just gulped down my tea.
I kind of want to order a pizza, but I also have some really yummy tuna helper. I'm eating it without tuna. It's just pasta. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, but then I hear people talk philosophy and science. Dude, yeah, I'm with you there. The problem with modern like the kids today that like do like philosophy 101 is they learn about different possibilities of epistemologies. But the thing is, even if we grant phenomenology, for instance, it's still not sound dependent on what you're talking about. Okay, phenomenology explains certain things to certain degrees, but once we learn causal mechanisms, you have to accept that the causal mechanism is the explanation and not the thing that you feel or experience as the cause. So it's very much a causation is not, or a correlation is not causation thing. And they don't figure that out for some reason. And they think that the phenomenology is a way to find truth. And that's not inherently wrong, but it's not correct.
Are you talking about like the cosmetological, however the fuck you say that word, argument?
No, phenomenology. It's a epistemology from experience.
Okay. I do want to ask you if this sounds in any way makes sense at all when it comes to the whole fine-tuning argument. What I normally do is that it depends. Well, it depends. If it's a smart one, which is normally the smart ones who use it, and they bring up the constants and all the numbers and blah 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 blah, I normally will grant them, okay, the universe is fine-tuned. So what? If this God is all-powerful, wouldn't we expect that these numbers, these constants, this fine-tuning wouldn't be there? Wouldn't we expect the exact opposite, that we would expect to see more of a movable thing within these constants, not so much that we would expect them to be so tightly fit, because he has the power to do so. Why would you grant that?
Because if he's all perfect and all powerful, he would make it extremely precise.
I wouldn't expect that. I don't know. I just wouldn't expect that. I feel like it would be more so. I don't think he'd do it precise. I feel like if I had that,
but if
kind
he's
of power,
all perfect, it means everything he does is in the most perfect way. So therefore, it would be in the most absolute precise way possible, and there's no other possibility for it to be any more precise. So it would be in that one single way. So the problem with the fine-tuning argument is it actually does work. And it's completely accurate up until the degree of causal mechanism. That's the problem with the fine-tuning argument, is just because it's precise could point to a God, absolutely. But there's no causal relation for that. But what we do have is the laws and the physics behind why it's precise. And that's the causal mechanism. Like gravity is the causal mechanism due to space-time curvature being the cause and mass being the cause.
Okay.
Yeah, if there was something pointing to it, if there was a mechanism that was showing not a matter, but I don't know, a fucking hand, like it would literally require something so astronomically magical, we would have to visibly see a fucking godlike hand in space holding all matter together. Like there would have to be something, and I don't know what that would look like because it's never happened.
Yeah. Okay. I see where my argument is flawed there. Have you had any interesting conversations while I've been gone? None?
No, today's been a shit day for debates.
Oh, God.
I'm so exhausted mentally. Oh, it's rough. I was hoping, because yesterday we had awesome debates, even amazing philosophical debates, and they were so fun. Today is just like, nuh-uh arguments. Like, there's a gentleman named Truth Dog that comes up. He's an older gentleman. You know who he is.
I can't. Fayborn, how did that go for you, my man?
I mean, he just kept repeating nuh-uh.
Yeah, this morning, I spent my morning heavily researching abiogenesis, because why would I talk about abiogenesis as something I believe in if I don't have justification for that? So I did a very deep dive into it and learned all of the mechanisms and hypotheses that we have, all the plausible reasonings, and also the literal step-by-step processes from inorganic to Darwinian evolution. And I read every single fucking step to him like 4 fucking times, and he just said, nuh-uh.
God damn. Oh, man. I wonder I wonder if for once I'm not actually bringing any good luck to you, and I'm the bad luck. that might be why today's been shit day. Because yesterday I wasn't on the panel really at all. I did try to come back a few times, but I was never let up.
Yeah, I mean, like right now there's 4 of us up here, and if we had an opposition, I wouldn't be okay with that. It's 4 against 1 is just too much.
All right, I'm done for the day.
All right, brother.
I'm done for the day. I'm talking about studying my dinosaur disease. I'm not done on here. Done with schoolwork for the day. Can't handle anymore. I already had a long lecture. I had like 6 lectures today.
Valid as hell.
Yeah. Ravi, did you ever at Princeton? Did you ever have like 8 to 4? No, 8 because I had lectures from 8 to 3, just non-stop. You ever have that?
I've been there. I was only there in my first year though. After that, I decided I didn't want to do anything before 10.
Yeah, no, and tomorrow I don't know if I need to check my schedule again, but I think either tomorrow or next Friday I have literally only labs, which is fun. I like lab classes, but I just have labs the entire day.
Oh yeah, that's a pain.
Like, it's just I love the practical work. I love working with my hands. I hate writing lab reports.
It is a valid idea, brother. Belith, you're a Satanist, correct?
We have we had, okay, I guess not. I thought we had someone in the guest request. I guess not. Must have been Jay.
Probably. This Saturday I'll be mediating for these 2 people on a debate. I'm excited to see how that goes.
Bye, Ravi.
And then this Friday I have some shit I have to do, and then besides that I'll be hopefully I'll be able to start a live this Friday, because my normal schedule is Friday and Saturdays I do live. Saturday I should be doing a live. The debate should only go on for just like an hour or so, and then Friday it's just going to be a very late one.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Do you want me to do you care if I fucking start announcing when I go live on the Discord?
I mean, it goes. I mean, doesn't Haley do it when she does Twitch lives?
Haley has her own section though.
Yeah.
Like in general, no. I don't do any of that.
I'll ask. I don't know who to ask, but
it would be
ask someone
Haley.
if you can. Yeah, I mean, Cody, I reckon if you give him permission to do it on the, I reckon they'll be alright. You know.
Nah, man, those mods got on my ass so fucking fast so fast. They're serious. You got some great fucking moderators, dude.
Hell yeah. The best of the best of the best.
I don't know why I'm a mod. I don't do anything. I literally don't interact with Discord. I do nothing. But I am an admin, actually. I'm not even a mod. I'm an admin.
I don't even know how Discord works.
Neither do I. That's the thing. I don't know how Discord works.
I need to fucking learn how it works. Fuck. That's gonna be hell. But yeah, just let me know if you'd be good with that or whatever you want to do, because the fucking it's such a struggle to get motherfuckers in there. There's this one dude who's constantly showing up, and I get bored of him so fast.
Here's a problem. So my first big bump was thanks to a shout out from Justin, Deconstruction Zone. Even if my platform is the promotional tool for yours, it's not long-term good for you. Because even after mine, all of my views dropped off after a couple of weeks. because it's his audience and it wasn't my audience, right? So
Yeah.
now I've got my own audience that also happened to watch him as well. But so like, I can't really provide you a consistent promotional area.
Yeah. I don't expect that. It's just right now, what I'm trying to do is at least get the live going so that I can build some
I'm
form of
more
an
than happy to
audience.
pop in, because if I'm on your live, then everyone over here will see it. But again, that's very much my platform coming over to your platform when you have a completely different way of talking. You have a different way of arguing. Like, we are so polar opposite that you're not going to get a lot of love from my people.
You definitely bring up the Bible a lot more.
The reason I don't do the whole "there's no evidence for God" is because I'm not good at philosophy. That's the whole big issue with it, is that I'm simply not good at it. If I was better at it, I would argue for it, but I'm just simply not.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, Dalton would be like even better than me for you.
I'm thinking Dalton. I've been on his lives a couple times. I like him a lot. I might, if he's live still after this, I might go over. But I reckon Trust will actually be live instead.
I'm friends with Dalton.
Yeah, he's pretty cool dude. I think we've been on live with him together at the same time.
Yeah, I'm connected with a lot of the popular people over here. Like, I have the majority of the known people. It's just the one thing I'm struggling with right now is just to get people in the live. That's where the whole suggestion
The
with
hard
why
part
I'm asking
is it's not fixed by shoutouts. It's only fixed by algorithm. That's the problem with it. It's very slow starting. Like, I think it took me 3 months to start getting some consistent, even above 10 viewers. It's purely algorithm based. You just have to be consistent.
I do plan on doing evolution debates over the summer.
Ooh.
But I need to figure out how to get TikTok on my computer and make it work. Because I can get TikTok on my computer. I just need to make it work. Like the TikTok studio and all that. And because I look like a 15-year-old, fucking prepubescent child, the face recognition doesn't work.
And a good comment on here, Drenger is absolutely correct. It would probably hurt his algorithm in the long run because of a drop off from my followers.
It could.
Because I got hurt a little bit after it calmed down with Justin as well.
The goal with you shouting me out right now for me is just so that I can get my name a little bit more out there. That's really it right now. That's why
I'm consistent in being inconsistent.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to do Friday and Saturday for the lives. I'm trying to be consistent at that. The only thing is time. Time is the one thing that I'm really struggling with right now.
It's the most important one.
Yeah, because I normally have shit to do, or other people will want me to show up on their lives during those days. I'm trying to be consistent with it. I normally do get a lot of good panels whenever I do go live. I have a lot of interesting conversations. Sometimes they're not even about the fucking prompt. Like, it's rarely about the
Yeah, I joined your live when you guys were talking about how unicorns would reproduce.
Okay, listen, that was brought up by I forgot who fucking brought it up.
That was brought up by the Bible, I think, actually.
Yes, it was.
How centaurs would reproduce, but
Ezekiel
anyway.
23:13. I'm pretty sure it's Ezekiel 20. Is in Ezekiel 23. I'm pretty sure it's 13.
Oh, Trixie, I do agree with that. Whenever I have someone up that's like very obviously got something going on, I try and be as kind as possible and drop them off as nice as possible, because I think that's just mean bullying. Like, I am all for bullying Phil Bros, but I'm not going to be ableist.
Truth Dog just said the Bible really doesn't play into a big part of my firm belief.
Truth Dog logic doesn't do anything for your belief.
I doubt that, because you've referenced the Bible and you deny a lot of science along with what.
Oh, that's true too. From Brother Belleth. When I first started doing TikTok, I tried to like script out my videos, and just the number one thing that works is making a bunch of videos very similar, same niche, same topics, doing something slightly different. And then once one actually catches, continue doing that one. And then after a little while, doing something slightly different. And then if that one catches, do that. So like you really got to, it's all about the algorithm. Doesn't matter who you know, doesn't matter.
Cody,
yeah.
I'm going to invite Truth Dog up so he can provide us his source. Come on, Truth.
We're having a good conversation right now.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, both of you. Shush. I want to try. I want to handle this.
All right.
Truth Dog, what's your source?
Let me put my window. I'm at a gas well right now, sitting.
I'm muting you for now.
Okay. Yeah. Right now, I'm specifically trying to focus on the omni problems because a lot of people don't bring to light those problems, and I think that is something that I'm good at talking about somewhat. The biggest problem right now that I'm facing is that I don't really know how to interact with the people who go, oh, well, he's only maximally powerful within logic, he's only maximally knowledgeable within knowledge, or I have to figure out a way to get around them right now.
I would say
you'll learn as you go.
Like who is only maximally powerful. If you're talking about like an all-powerful God, and they say like he's all-powerful, and then like you bring up a rebuttable like a stone too heavy you can lift, or you can't lift. Oh, and then they say, oh, he's only maximally powerful, or he's only powerful within like outside of himself. Say that's like you're putting a limitation on an all-powerful God, you know.
And also, it's purely subjective, per individual.
Yeah, and again,
but
like
those.
Anyway, Truth Dog. Anyway, you're good. You're all no squeaking sounds.
Yeah, I was muted. If you can create a rock that's too big for you to lift, believe me, you can lift it. If you created it, you create a rock, you can lift it.
Truth Dog. It's called a paradox. It's literally impossible with either the answer of yes and no. If it's too heavy to lift, you can't fucking lift it by definition. If you can't do it, then you're not all powerful. It's a paradox. That's why they swapped from all powerful to maximally great.
Yeah. I mean, he could create a rock that's so big you couldn't measure it.
Then he's not all powerful.
So yeah, I mean, if you witnessed the miracles that I've witnessed in my life, you would know that he's
my
real.
God. It's Truth Dog.
Kind of reservation.
Truth Dog. Okay, listen. Okay, you can blamber about your miracles and everything. It doesn't help anybody. Okay, it's proof for you and proof for you only. Unless you can prove that your miracles were actually miracles, stop bringing them up. Just stop bringing them up. That it literally until the day that you can prove your miracles, don't bring them up to anybody, because anybody with a brain is not going to give a shit, because they probably can be explained, and it's probably that you just don't understand what the fuck happened, and now you're saying wava, a miracle.
That wouldn't matter to you none, but that's how I get my belief, not from the Bible, not from Christians or anything like that. It's my 67-year-old personal knowledge.
Truth Dog.
I know things that really shouldn't have happened, but they did.
Truth Dog. Here's the problem with miracle claims.
You couldn't imagine.
Here's the problem with those claims, Truth Dog. You believe it was God ordained because you're ignorant on the science and mechanism that actually caused the effect of said miracle. You have no evidence or justification that a God caused whatever the fuck it was that happened.
Yeah, well, I told you about my grandfather photograph that I found 500 miles away.
It's not a miracle, dude.
In the seller's other item list when I was looking at old cars.
It's not a miracle, Truth Dog. It's a guy who knew your grandfather.
No, he didn't know him.
The Earth is a finite system. There's 8 billion people. That's a lot. Here's the thing.
Right.
If you're within 500 miles of someone and you have a car, people move around. It's kind of one of our things.
Here's what actually happened. If you had the patience to listen, one night I wanted to look at old cars
Yes.
on eBay.
Talking about listening coming from you.
I put Ford Fairlane on eBay, and the first on the list.
I remember your argument. It was completely illogical. I'm just not gonna hear it. I'm sorry, mate. Like, I just can't deal with that. Like, I thought your source was gonna be, some form of, scripture. Because you said it wasn't the Bible. Okay, some other form of scripture.
Some genuine advice, because I actually do like you as a person, Truth Dog. That my annoyance with you is your very, very sure stances on things that have nothing to do with a deity. And then when we explain step by step, you just say, nuh-uh. That's my problem with you. We have decent conversation. You seem a decent guy. I think you need, Truth Dog, to seriously go to a library, pick up a book on philosophy and basic logic, and read a little bit.
Science. Evolution, biology 101, also geology 101, cosmology 101, basically any 101 book on science. Use those, because you don't know them enough. Like, I'm genuinely.
I do want to get the Satanist book. I don't know how I feel about Anton LaVey. I'm completely ignorant, and I'm coming from the Christianity, so I'm very biased against him.
Dog, do you take any medication ever?
I don't know if you heard what I said,
Have you ever taken a medication? Do you use your phone? Do you use Wi-Fi? You are currently. That's science, Truth Dog.
Did Anton LaVey do bad things?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, no clue.
But from the biblical standpoint of Satan, Lucifer, the devil.
No, Satanists or atheists.
Oh shit. Well, I know they don't believe in the devil. I just didn't know what they were actually like claiming, if they believe that there's like fucking gods or not. I just never knew that part.
I'm basically a Satanist. Like I'm this close to being a Satanist. I'm honestly at this point I want to go get my fucking card. Like it's that so close. Atheistic. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Atheistic. Like you are in control of everything, which is true. It is up to you to have a good life or not, which is true. Like it's all up to you.
Okay. I know they don't believe in literal Satan. It's just I was bringing that up because when you look at the Bible, the devil, Satan, he's never once the fucking bad guy. Never.
True. I think we've had some good conversations with you, Kant. What's up?
Yes, good sir. I'm here to present evidence for God's existence.
Awesome. We've had good conversations, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. All right, sweet. Which God?
Yeah, the Christian God.
Cool. All right, what you got for me, man?
Yeah, so I have deductive and abductive evidence. So the first argument is just going to be establishing, that propositions are going to be necessary, and in virtue of that, there's going to be necessary mental states that they're identical to. So the first premise of the argument.
Right there? What do you
Excuse
mean?
me, good sir. Allow me to give the argument.
I'm asking for an elaboration. Jesus fuck, dude.
You need to calm it down right now.
I was going to ask you, what do you mean by a necessary mental state? I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
fuck off.
Yeah.
I was actually super excited to converse with you.
Invited him. Shit, my bad. I didn't need to invite him.
I apologize for the outlash.
Fuck you.
Nah.
I literally explained that I was not trying to cut you off, but I was trying to get an elaboration for what you were saying, and you're just like, shut up, calm down. Like, that's just pure Philbro bullshit. It's like, low tier, you're not keeping up. You're not keeping up, low tier. You're such a slow boy. You don't understand. Like, that's stupid. Fuck that shit. I'm a human. You're a human. Talk like a human. All right. I'll get you up because I don't remember our conversations, but I feel like we had good conversations. Okay. So
I apologize, good sir.
I don't know what you mean by necessary mental state for that proposition.
A necessary mental state is just a mental state that cannot not exist.
Like what?
So it'd be some sort.
That can't exist.
Sorry.
Can't not exist. That means just can't exist.
No.
It's a double negative.
If it cannot not exist, then that means it must always exist.
Yeah.
Can't not.
No, I didn't add the extra not there.
You.
I mean, if we're going for
can
can't
not,
not, then sure.
Can't
can not not. Can not can not. It's can not.
So it can just remove the not.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Well, it must exist, right?
Okay, like.
Okay, so it can exist.
Yeah, it cannot not exist.
What do you mean?
I think this
it can exist.
No, if it cannot not exist, then it must exist.
It can't.
Hold on. I think this is your first time running into philosophy like this.
No, I agree with Kant. What he said made sense, absolutely. But I don't understand, like, what mental state would be that way.
No, I was talking to Evan.
Yeah, it would be certain mental states that are necessary propositions.
Which
means, for example, the law of identity.
Okay,
so A equals A is true.
Sure.
And it is always true.
Yes, but it doesn't make A true, because Harry Potter could be A, but it doesn't make Harry Potter exist. Do you see what I'm saying? Like trivialism, like that allows trivialism.
Well, no, just the proposition that A equals A is just saying something is identical to itself.
Yes, that I grant. Yes,
necessarily true.
I grant the law of identity. Yes.
Yeah, so if the law of identity is necessarily true, all I'm arguing is, well, the law of identity is a necessarily true proposition, and if there are necessarily true propositions, then those propositions are identical to necessary mental states. And if there are necessary mental states, then there's a necessary mind.
No.
And this necessary mind is God. Therefore, God exists.
I don't grant that, because what grounds logic is axioms, like the law of identity, for instance, is true in nature objectively.
Actually, it can't be the case that logic is grounded in axioms.
It literally
because
is.
Axioms are self-evident truths,
yes,
which means that they're justified non-inferentially. But if they're justified non-inferentially, then that means
self-evident.
Excuse me.
It is inference.
No, if they're self-evidently true, then that means they're justified non-inferentially.
They are the evidence of themselves. This thing exists. How do you know? Because it is here. It is the evidence of its existence. You can observe it, test it. It's falsifiable, demonstrable. It exists. That's the axiom.
Yeah, but we're talking about the law of identity. So when you think about the
which is grounded in axiomatic principles, same as math, it is true.
Yeah.
Axiomatic principles are true.
So what I'm saying is, when you think about the statement A equals A, that itself is going to be self-evidently true.
Right, because this is a pendulum. And it is true that it's a pendulum because that's what it fucking is, and it does exist. Yeah. It is axiom, true in nature objectively. It does not require a mind. It's not subjective, it's objective. The subjective part comes when you add in God, because it only exists in your mind.
Yeah, look, all I'm saying is that axioms are non-inferential, but my claim is that all justification is inferential. So therefore axioms are not justified. Sorry?
What epistemic justification is there for that?
For what? For the claim that axioms are not
inferences can't be true?
No, my claim is that all justification is inferential.
I don't grant that.
Axioms are
deductive.
Yeah,
you just said you're providing me a deductive argument. By that standard, your deductive argument is false because it's not inferencing. That's stupid.
Do you understand
That's absurd.
What I'm saying?
You just provided an absurd argument.
No, what I'm saying is that all justification is inferential. There's no such thing as non-inferential justification.
I don't grant that. Define inference.
Okay. Yeah, so inferential justification is just justification that's propositional. So what I'm saying is all justification is inferential because all justification is indexed to the principle of avoiding arbitrariness and the principle of avoiding circularity. But in order for axioms to be justified, which is what you're appealing to ground the law of identity instead of God, you would have to affirm the principle. You would have to affirm that those principles are not true.
No, according to your logic, I would be inferencing the axioms that are objectively true of nature. According to your logic. An internal critique using your logic against you makes this my argument valid. Using your logic.
Do you accept the PAA?
I'm not going to because I'm ignorant. I'm going to withhold.
I can just tell you what it is.
I'm still going to withhold because I'm ignorant. I would have to go down a rabbit hole and study it.
Okay. Well, in order for you to claim that axioms are justified, You would have to have an understanding of what the
not?
principle of avoiding arbitrariness is.
Incorrect. I understand that self-evident is the evidence of itself, and I can demonstrate it, and I don't need to know what the fuck Philbro bullshit you just splattered out of your asshole.
What is the explanation for self-evident truth?
The evidence of itself.
So
This
it explains
is
itself?
evidence. It is demonstrable. It is falsifiable. Looking at it is evidence that it is here.
So self-evident truths explain themselves?
That is the definition of self-evident. You want me to Google this for you?
So just to be clear, if self-evident truths explain themselves on your view,
meaning,
then does that mean that the explanation...
Self-evident, not needing to be demonstrated or explained. It is obvious. It is the evidence of itself.
Oh, so saying it doesn't need to be explained is different from saying it explains itself. So
It is the explanation of itself. This is evidence of its existence.
Okay, so you disagree with the standard definition of what an axiom is?
No, I disagree with yours.
Well, what is the definition you just read? Can you read it
Here's
again?
the definition of axiom. That was not for axiom. Axiom definition. A statement or proposition which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evidently true.
And what does self-evident mean?
Oh, you might be right there. Self-definition, not needing to be demonstrated or explained. It is obvious. So what does obvious mean? Obvious.
So, well,
slow down, Philbro. Slow down, Philbro.
You can just accept the blunder. Just accept the blunder.
Obvious definition. Easily
Just accept the
perceived.
blunder.
Hey, dumbass. Pay attention, Philbro. Obvious
wouldn't talk to me like
definition.
that in real life.
I would.
No, you
Easily.
wouldn't. I trained
Shut the
jujitsu.
fuck up, whore.
Okay.
Easily
Yes,
perceived
Daddy.
or understood. Clear, self-evident, or apparent.
Yeah, well, what does self-evidence mean?
Easily perceived is what
Wait,
self-evidence mean.
so
Because
now
in
your
self-evidence,
definition
it
for
means it is
self-evidence
obvious.
uses self-evidence.
Yes,
Another
because
blunder. You're on the
self-evident.
blunderbuss today, aren't you, buddy? So yeah, just to be clear.
I hate Phil Bros. Pardon my French for calling him that. That came just straight from the depths of the hell of my mind. That is wrong for me to say. I never use that word. I apologize. I just fucking hate Phil Bros. I apologize for saying that. 100% my fault.
Damn, I was low-key interested in how that conversation was gonna go.
I thought we had good arguments, but he's just a basic Phil Bro bitch. Douchebag. I know you guys don't like the bitch either. Douchebag. I called him a bad word. That's what, bun. Called him a bad word.
I think what he was trying to get at, I think the problem right there that you had right there that he was trying to call you out on is because when you had read the full definition, you included the self-evidence part, and that's where that whole circle of it using the definition of self-evident with obvious, just re-explaining it. So next time, just don't include that part.
But
because
I have
also
to. It's the
Googled it.
definition. Easily perceived is what self-evident is going to be.
Well, yes, I agree with
That's
that.
what the conclusion is, and he didn't like that, so he wanted to make up a corner and put me in. But it means easily perceived. Again, it is easy to perceive that this exists. There's no reason for me to believe it doesn't exist. It is the evidence for itself. So I just fucking hate Phil Bros.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Incorrect, can't. I just read it again. Self-evident is going to be easily perceived. Conclusion. That is what self-evident means when you look up all the words. It is easily perceived. God is not that. God is not an axiom. I did read the full definition, so literally did. I did not hide any part of that definition. Obvious. Oxford Dictionaries. OB-VI-OUS. Easily perceived or understood. Clear, self-evident, or apparent. What is self-evident or apparent? It is going to be easily perceived. I hate Phil Bros. Actually, you know what? I'm just done with you. Shut up. Go find someone else to troll. You're annoying.
I did see for a second what he was going at until you explained that.
I trust a theory not be able to be falsified. Theories are falsified. Or falsifiable. That's why they're theories. Guesses and assumptions may not be falsifiable. Scientific theories, they gotta be. Dude, you guys can prove me wrong and prove that a God exists, but it requires evidence, not philosophy. Philosophical abstract concepts don't make things exist. Harry Potter is an abstract concept. He doesn't actually exist. You have to demonstrate why Harry Potter exists. He doesn't. There's no evidence to justify that, so we don't believe it.
Nah, there is evidence. The movies and the books. That's the evidence. Right there.
I think I'm hangry.
Go eat something then, gang.
That might be why I'm so tired right now. I haven't ate anything today.
Well, then let the two damn moderators on the panel run the live while you go and eat.
Definitely not. I will be ending the live.
All right.
All right. I appreciate you guys being here. Pardon my French here at the end when I was getting too frustrated for my own good. Apologize for that. I'll see you guys probably later, honestly. I should probably do a late night stream. I'll probably eat, relax a little bit, read a little bit of my book, and then come back on the live.
I won't be able to come on past 9:30.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Love you guys. I'll chat later. YouTube, you guys are the best. I love you all. You're amazing. Appreciate you guys and the mods. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. We'll go live a little later. So I'll see you guys soon.